5, 4, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody? Welcome back with the Plat. Quit looking at my dick, friends. Back. How's these two hands? Don't look. Don't look, I dropped it. Don't look, I dropped it. Give me a second. Boom, here you go. Look at that shit. Oh, use the shit right there. Can't get it set up for this angle. Ugh. Hello, friends. How you doing today? I know what you're thinking, Plat. Why don't you just set up?
And girls, I'm not sexist. We're gonna beat it. Load, slot 3. Level 67, 35 hours. The game's not very long, it doesn't seem like. Ah, pleasant. I do like me some H2. Whoa! Oh. I like this song. Turn this shit off. Listen, I know that they want me to have the airship, but as a man of taste, I don't go anywhere unless the game requires me to without my chocobo. Alright, where's our destination, do you think? Let's actually get on here. See if this guy knows where we're supposed to go. I just can't remember. The tree? Oh, the life tree? That's right. Whoa, look at this shit. I forgot we're on a new airship. Guess we might as well open this really quick, right? Pisces? Oh shit, you can't even get all the Stelazio until you get to this point then. Interesting. I thought all the Stelazio would be easy to get. This must be fully into Disc 4. This must be called like preparations or whatever. There's a big, oh, that's the big cool red eye. This is where we see people doing, okay. All right. Let's go to the tree. Bup, 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 but, gak, gak. Depot. Get that stupid airship out of here with the stupid magic eye. We don't need that. The only place we're going is to the Tree of Life. I can only get near it from above. Well, you don't say. When you say from above, you mean with a fucking airship, don't you? Is Chocobo not good enough for you, game? All right, I'm sorry to say this, but we're gonna have to give our Chocobo the what for. Man, this is way harder to see with the mist. Goodbye, Choky bro. Not that way. There we go. Sorry, Chocobo. You know I miss you and I love you. Well. Enter with A. Man, why don't they let me take my Chocobo? Let's go! Oh my god, what are those? What are those? Are those all silver dragons? Holy shit! Holy shit! Look at all the dragons! That is a murder of dragons. Luckily, our airship is invincible. Our airship is invincible. I guess it's a good idea we didn't bring the Chocobo. Oh, we got Sid coming with us. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go get him, Sid. Now that you got the mist back, we got mist-powered engines, bitch. Ba 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 da ya 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 ya. All ships clear a path for the invincible. Can't let you guys steal the show by yourselves. Huh? Uncle Sid? Why? How did he know to show up here? All those high FMV shots jammed into disc 4. Fuck yeah, let's go. Probably because of Baku. He loves big showdowns. Now let's lose those dragons. Ha 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 ha. Run, it's a dragon. Oh man, that dragon is fucking face planted into the side of a boat ship. That must be Queen Bertha, whatever. General Beatrix, our ship is going to burst. Do not fret, your captain is about to enter Valhalla. You are a Pluto Knight, now act like one. Bloodzin? We all know you came along because you were worried sick about Captain Steiner. Did you say something? Red Rose, could it be Beatrix? White a woman you fell in love with. You're one to talk. Wait a minute, Steiner, what do you mean by that? Alright, let's burst through. Oh, like, oh, who knows? Oh, we're in love! Oh, love! Poke it. Ooh. We are in a fight. Oh my god, are we going to win or lose? I do not know. Let's hurry up. We're going to kill all of them as long as we've got Freya. 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 Oh my god, is that mega horned man? He's got a sword on its head. Nova Dragon. Get down. We'll just start stealing. It's fine, you will cast Cure. You will... I don't even think we need to frog drop and stuff. This guy's probably easy as fuck. Sorry, dragon. Do you like dragons? How about when I dragon my balls across your face? Yes, it is a classic. Oh, there's my girlfriend. Hey, girlfriend. Ha, 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 ha. Frog drop. How you doing, girl? You're looking good. She's always looking good, though. Aerial slash. Oh my god, he did nearly 1,800 damage to one of my characters. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Busted. Maybe this will just kill him. I assume he doesn't have like 30,000 HP. He might. Alright, he might. Soul Remedy. Noise. Let's speed it up a little bit. You know, this is not what we really care about. It is an easy little fight. We're just way too strong. Unless he might pull out some big guns, I don't know. Dude, you know what? This guy has a fuck ton of HP. Psychokinesis. That's a lot of Dragon Crest. We're gonna need to get our mana back. Alright, let's start to slow this down. Sorry, Nova Dragon. It was nice to meet ya. That's my favorite part about Final Fantasy X is when you get super buff and you can defeat all the super bosses, then you go through the main story at the very last thing, and then you just you one-shot all the bosses, and it's all these epic, then you hit them once, you go with Titus, auto haste, and they're like, cool. It's so fucking great. Are you sure this will work? Quina, it's no problem. I warp in from outside before. Guess this is the only way. We'll find same magic field outside when we come back. I warp in when I step into magic field outside. All right, I guess there's no use worrying. All right, Quina, don't fuck with us now. Ooh. Quite the castle. What is this place? What? What's wrong, Zidane? Did someone just call my name? Nope. That's weird. Maybe you're just hearing things? I don't think so. You hear that? I hear nothing. Zidane, can you hear me? Garland! I am speaking only to you. Garland, what is this place? Memoria, a place of memories. Memories? Yes, memories brought forth this place. Here you shall witness the entire truth. You have no choice, now go. What are you talking about? Damn! Daniel? Zidane, what's going on? Y'all heard me talking, right? Looks like I was the only one who heard him. I was just talking to Garland. He told me that our memories created this place. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I guess we'll just have to move forward. It's like some sort of rope of events would show your memories. Like a chain, nearly, would some say. But do you start forgetting your memories as you go up through this? I would doubt that. Oh. No. But they let us. Hello, Bubble. Oh. I'm gonna say this Moogle. What is... It's just jizzing all into the air. It's like someone's finally using me. Oh! Like, get over yourself. This is the first time we can save through a not Moogle, right? Oh, maybe so it was shooting us. Now it's doing the reverse jizz. So we were the jizz the whole time. Wow. Really makes you think, you know? So I wonder if this place is gonna be huge, sprawling, and crazy, or if it's basically gonna be walk forward. What? There's a character here. Master Phantom. I am the ghost of a card master long departed. No. Well, there's my purpose. This guy's entire purpose is to be a phantom to play cards with. That's funny. Nope. Sorry, Card Phantom. Not interested. Well, new story idea. That's right, Lampy. We could write this together. I'll be your co-author. You do the writing and editing, but I'll be the idea man. Everyone needs one of those. That's a real position. We walk. There's nothing? You expect me to believe that's nothing? There's more phantoms around here, more invisible card players, and I will find them and deny their existence and not play their fucking little card game. Not a random encounter. Then what is it? It's a guaranteed encounter. Oh. Hello, six-armed man. We meet again. Oh, it's the fire. I am one of the Chaos Guardians. Kneel before my power. No. We're gonna Medine you. We are gonna Dragon you. We are gonna Frog Drop you. Stole Genji armor! Give that back right now. Where the fuck's my fucking Frog Drop? Someone give me Frog Drop right now. There we go, got it. Yeah, I get it. He's a big badass. Give me my fucking armor back. Oh wait, I stole Genji armor from it. That makes way more sense. Okay. It's all coming together now. Good luck, man. Good luck. I assume there was only like one set in the game, but I guess there's multiple. It's over! Take this! Raining swords! Ugh. Trance. Oh, I went trance. I was like, oh, the enemy's gonna do actually that much damage in trance? That's kind of scary. But they did not. Pulling out the fire, we got an achievement. Hey, Phoenix Pinion. We still can't make those, but we'll find a way. That actually did almost like no damage. We're not even gonna heal that. I don't give a fuck. Okay, we'll heal it. Let's use, you know what? Let's use potions. Let's do it. Not potions, but I mean ether potions. There we go. What do we got here? Isn't this Alexandria? What is Alexandria Castle doing here? It's a memory, bro. There's a fucking place built of memories. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, an excuse to make us watch the same exact movie again. They get double value out of that. What are you talking about? I see nothing. Of course you can't see anything. You weren't with us at the time, so it's not your memory. Duh! Fucking Quina, piece of shit! In his bid to defy me, Kuja tried to acquire Alexander. An incident 10 years ago started everything. Okay. Oh, please, do tell. Another save spot, huh? Wonder if there's gonna be one in each memory. Seems like it. How am I supposed to know that? Angel flute? Oh shit, that was... There we go, we found the ultimate flute, of course. It's not even the ultimate flute! I guess it is, but it's not as good as wind. Well, we're using it. I don't give a shit. Ha 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 ha! We're gonna beat this game with the super boss and have about half the achievements, which is gonna be crazy. Most of them are really dumb, but there are some that are kind of annoying that I'm not gonna get. A storm. Is it? Or is it the water dragon? Oh, are you another card master? Defensive, I am the ghost of the most infamous card master. Alright, yeah, we'll challenge you. Man, this is so much worse than Triple Triad Song. Think I give a shit? Let's not even use that. Let's use this and fuck, I don't know, this. Look at all these fucking airships, man. What is that? That's dark matter. Where's our boss, super boss card? Where's the Jolly Rancher card? Where's our fucking Jolly Rancher card, bro? Hilda, Mana Moon, Dark Matter, Mithril Sword, Alexander, Ark, Odin, Ramph, Iron Man, Ozma. Here we go. We have more than one Ozma card. Okay. What is the fuck? What does this fucking mean? What are you trying to tell me with that information? I don't know. Alright. Well. Let's put this here. That seems safe. That's a ribbon. Can we beat that? I don't know. Nope. Hey, stop that. Didn't exactly work out the way I'd hoped, did it? We'll try 2 more times. No, that card sucked. I don't know what any of this shit means. Like, it's such a stupid fucking card game after coming off such a good one, too. Ozma seems pretty good, though. That card seems pretty good. And that seems really good. And we'll use our Ozma. I don't know. These seem like good cards. It's kind of hard to tell, right? I mean, we'll just take that. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care about that. What the fuck does that mean, man? Alright, well... What was that shit? And there's also randomness to it, which is also fucking trash, right? Who knows what this fucking card game means? God, it's so stupid. I don't know. Use that. Who cares? Yeah, do that. We're doing it. We're doing one more. I would like to win once, just to have like a win, right? Here, this card's perfect. Oh man, that's actually a good spot for that card, I think. You got all the cards in the fucking world, bro. Yay. Yay. I want... Sure. No! No rematch. End the game. Yeah, I beat you. I beat you. Alright, whatever. Fuck that guy. Yep, now let us fight the water spirit. Back to what the real game's all about. What? What are you doing? You shouldn't go anywhere. There's a storm. Watch out, you're gonna get washed away. Why would you think this is real? Huh? Yeah, it's a fucking memory, idiot. Yeah, it had to be. What I just saw definitely isn't one of my memories. What's going on? That was my memory. Why was Zidane able to see it? Zidane! Yeah, what's up? You didn't imagine anything. But you saw it too? That means that little girl was you. But I was able to see something from your memory. I don't know. Hey Garland, what's going on? Garland, can you hear me? Oh, he could hear us alright. I feared Gaia's Aeons more than anything, however, I decided to deal with them before they became a major problem. Oh, look at that dope-ass eye. That eye, same eye I saw the night in the storm here. I thought that it was, the Invincible. Maybe it's not. What you just saw from your memory was not Garnet's. What? But I don't remember being in a storm at sea. You still don't understand. You will find out soon enough. What do you mean? Could other people's memories become a part of my own? Garland! Once you accept everything, the answer will appear before you. A tremendous force was summoned to Gaia during the Age of War. However, the Gaians were not ready to harness so great a power. They were terrified and broke the jewel into 4 pieces. And then they prayed never to see it again. Alright. Let's take a peek. Oh ho ho! Rune claws, motherfucker! This isn't the end, is it? Ooh, guaranteed fight, okay. Okay, shit, okay. I believe we still have to go to Hades. Wherever the fuck that is. Maybe not. So you have defeated Maliris. For Tiamat, there is only victory! Are you sure about that? Blood Sword? That's like ancient news, bro. So maybe the first time in a fight you do that, it always does that, and then the second and third time it gets over it. No, absorb MP. No, it's still doing the full fucking thing. Maybe it just always does, I don't know. Ah, we're immune to silence. Maybe not. Some of my characters are, though. Leave me with a parting gift. Oh, he didn't even leave me with one. Alright, that's fine. Gone with the winds. Hey, Dragon's Crest, you earned it. You know what that means? You can actually switch your weapon to your best weapon. Why not? It doesn't make a difference because you're already do max damage with your new attack, but still, you know, it's kind of cool. Tiamat, I'm so sorry to have hurt you like that. Where are we at? Memoria Ruins, okay. This is definitely a memory. Is this, kind of looks like the Tantalus TARDIS group guys? More phantoms, huh? No, we're not fighting you fucking phantoms in the goddamn card games. What a weird time to implement fucking card game enemies. Nothing there. Alright, well, we'll just head up. Don't mind us. Fancy-ass castle. What is this? Oh, these are the two worlds becoming one. Two moons colliding? No, they look more like planets! Why does this look so fucking familiar? There's a picture of Gaia being assimilated by Terra. 5,000 years ago, Terra, already an old planet, sought to assimilate Gaia. Terra needed to merge with a younger planet to survive. Cause that's how planets work, guys. That makes total sense. However, there was already life on Gaia, and so the story began. Oh yeah, I saw this in Oilvert. Life on Terra was coming to an end. We had no choice but to proceed with the fusion, which tragically destroyed Terra's native civilizations. Terra was too old to assimilate everything. Thus, I created the tree to regulate the flow of souls back into Terra. Okay. Thus, I created the tree. Yep, that is not disorienting. Hello. We will 10. We got 39 cents. We've used 5 this whole game. Let's take a quick nap here. Sorry, Garland, give us a second. Please don't talk in our head while we take this nap. Save. I need to find a pen. I need to find a pen so I could write down when I beat the game, which will be today. They just wanted to play Legend of Dragoon. We know the truth. Aha! But in their world, it could not be. So we're gonna fight the water dude now. We fought wind. Oh, hey Quina, why are you not inside of our party? Ocean, fish everywhere, yum yum. I don't know if Quina's wearing pants or not, but I'll hope yes. Quina, what are you doing? Swimming after fish, Zidane. You help catch fish too. Ugh, what is this? Hard to breathe now. Ugh, can't breathe. That's because you think we're inside an ocean. I can breathe fine. We not an ocean? Oh. You're right, I breathe okay now. Fish all gone, I sad. Quina, this is like, what a weird fucking moment for like a stupid comedy bit. Like, trying to ramp up the events here. You're like, oh, the fishies. No fishies, oh, sad. Gaia used to be just one big ocean. How do you know? I don't know. For some reason, it's in my memory. I wasn't even born at the time. It doesn't make any sense. And I was born on Terra, not Gaia, so how can it be in my memory? It's in my memory too. Gaia used to be covered with water. I'm getting a similar feeling as well. Maybe that means all existence can be traced back to a single source? I do not understand. I do not understand. Water God! Is this the final dungeon? Or do we get to go to Hades at some point during here? I am Kraken! Your presence is forbidden! So you defeated Tiamat! Yes, we did. Oh, he's got 3 tentacles. Alright. Well, that's fine. They will not last long. Sorry, buddy, but they will not last long. Probably not. They may survive this, I don't know. Water, no! I'd be surprised if they actually have a chance to kill us here. I'm sure the summons will take care of them. Leg! Sorry, bro. That doesn't do a lot of damage, but we're still totally fine. Your legs aren't that strong. All washed up with a phoenix pinion. Thank you. Ha! Too easy. Am I right, guys? Hello, clock. Tent. We will always tent. What? Also, hidden weird save points is fucking weird, right? I like the song though. For sure a fan of this. Your clock looks busted. I'm just gonna say I don't think it's working. Oh. Geez, that's one big fireball. Could it be a moon? That's like the fucking sun or some shit, right? Oh, this is the birth of Gaia. That's Gaia over 5,000 years ago. 5,000, like... That's like no time at all. Humans couldn't evolve in this amount of time. Maybe there's no evolution. Maybe this is the world of Christianity. I don't know. Terra reached the peak of its prosperity at this time. The people believed that their future was secure. Ultimately, that very hubris led to Terra's demise. Thus, I was created to deal with our plights. Gaia's birth, okay. Really just saying in Legend of Dragoon, when you got on the tree, this same stuff happens? Does it? What is this? Oh. I only talk to you if you challenge me to cards. Otherwise, I'm not interested in helping you. Let's go. More card man. Like, I am the Phantom of the biggest card man of all time. No, I am the captain of the biggest captain guy of all time. Who uses maces? Who uses fucking maces? Oh, that must be a Zoc weapon. By Zoc, I mean Vivi. It would just also, they just hide the ultimate weapon, just like, oh, when you're on your way to beat the game, they're just on the ground. There's already been 3 achievement ultimate weapons. Okay. Wow, maybe the center door. Oh! Spaceman! Is this the one that we fought? The death one? With now even more skulls than before! Nyang, 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 nyang. The Eye, Earth Chaos Lich, but your hope ends here, and your meaningless existence with it! That's one of my favorite lines in Final Fantasy X because I heard it so much. Oh my god. Oh my god, Zidane's gonna go dead. I'm okay with Zidane dying. I hope he knows that Doom's not that bad, and we're totally fine with it. Oh, Zidane's back. That's right. Auto life. Auto life. Once you have auto regain, long animations become OP as fuck. No, short animations. You see memories and go through past scenes, and you see the planet forming. I know that you see I don't remember all that actually from the end of Legend of Dragoon. I do remember you see Lavitz when you go to the moon, I believe. He's like an unsent, basically. Hey, hidden rock bottom. That's funny. The achievement names are humorous. Maybe there's an ultimate weapon there. Who knows? You don't even try? There's nothing. Whoa. That's the point. Do you not see the metaphor? It's too fucking deep for you, I guess. Is there nothing else? This is space. Space. Your journey is not over. Do not fear. Step forward and you'll be close to the truth. Go, Zidane. Sure. That's easy for you to say. Nice. The final frontier. Ah, yes, we are making great progress. Walking on a tiny circle. Walking on a tiny circle. Well, you know what? This is really... Am I supposed to do something? Is this a joke? Oh no, you actually just walking. I actually had to move while that's happening. Okay. You have encountered. How are the longest time someone stood there and like, what's going on? You have entered a new realm. There are no more worlds. There is no more space. Follow your memory, your original memory. Garland, what exactly is our memory? Ugh. Why can't I remember some of other people's experiences and the events that happened before my time? Ugh. Garland, tell me! Do not limit memory to just one individual's experiences. From birth, that is only the surface. Every life born into this world, whether natural or artificial, requires a parent. And that parent also requires a parent. Life is connected one to another. If you trace the root of all life to existence, there is only one source. The testicles! The same could be said for memory. All life constitutes an intelligence that holds memory beyond experience. Zidane died for our sins. That is all. Basically, that's what it seems like. Memory is isolated within individuals. Blah, blah. Kingdom Hearts. An accumulation of generations of memories that continue to evolve. When you say memory and evolution go hand in hand, but most life forms do not understand the true nature of memories, which explains why most memories never cross paths. So what am I going to find by tracking to our roots? A presence that provides over all life and memories. The crystal. Crystal? No, that doesn't sound like Final Fantasy. You're on your own now. Zidane, take care of Kuja and protect the crystal. Farewell. Garland, wait. Garland. The fuck, Garland? The testicle is the crystal, basically, of our life. It spreads its seed over existence. Even if I were created to serve one purpose alone, I do not regret being born into this world. Oh my god. It's an even bigger testicle than I could have imagined. Is this what the crystal he was talking about? It's time for us to find out the truth. This is not convoluted or dumb. Everything makes so much perfect fucking sense. Everything makes so much perfect motherfucking sense. Where are we at? We're in the crystal world. Yeah, now we get the Final Fantasy theme music too, right? While we're in the crystals. Where's Hades? Are we gonna find Hades? Maybe Hades is post-game? I don't know. No. Still crystal world, okay? No. Yeah, that's right. Shoot that crystal juice all over us. Data saved. Ah! No more ghosts playing cards here, huh? What? Kuja! Nice of you to come. I'm surprised you beat the 4 chaoses that I created from the crystal's memory. But you're too late. Take a good look, isn't it beautiful? This is the original crystal. This is where it all began. The birthplace of all things. Once I destroy it, everything will be gone. Gaia, Terra, the universe, everything. Your lives and memories too, of course. Ah! Shut up! The only thing that's gonna be gone is you. I'll take you out. I'll take you out right now! You honestly think you could beat me? Even if you do, Gaia's already doomed. Its assimilation by Terra has begun, and the Aoife tree will incite a cataclysmic destruction of Gaia. My nose is itchy. It's all over for you and your friends. The only thing you'll take me to is dinner. Ah! See, I win either way. It doesn't matter. Even if Gaia is assimilated, the planet will remain and we'll start over to make a new home. Okay, sure. Kuja, you're nothing but a coward. If you're gonna die, leave us out of it. Why should the world exist without me? That wouldn't be fair. I don't know if he knows what fair is. If I die, we all die, Zidane. You will be my first sacrifice. You mean mortar? It's too late for us to be your first sacrifice, god of death, that goes around creating wars just to kill people and directly kills lots of people. You're too fucking late to call us the first sacrifice. Do I find the end motivation here funny? If I gotta die, everyone else should too. Well, man, Kuja, you're way more attractive than I thought. Meteo! Death guys, oh god. Oh crap, that was a lot of damage. But as long as our animations take a long time, we're fine. He couldn't steal anything! Our animations are so long, we basically heal the full just from, why are we stealing with Zidane instead of attacking? I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. We didn't get Zidane's ultimate weapon either, which we could have. We didn't. Ooh, this guy's got high defense. But Dragon's Quest and Dragma ensure that we're fine. Frog drop. Just attack, man. That's fine. What is this fucking thing gonna do? This isn't even his final form, bro. Stop it. Sorry, final fight, but you're easy AF. You're not even that. You really think you could beat me? Yes. Kuja, I do. Da da. They gotta do one time where you do that and then they interrupt it with another fight. Like, they gotta subvert your expectations sometimes. Is there a fucking save? I can't believe you beat death guys. Well, my time is almost up. Time to die, everyone. He didn't know he was gonna die, and now he can sense exactly when he's gonna die. That's a great dialogue. I can't believe you beat him. Well, I'm about to die. Gotta kill you. Is this trance, or is he gonna trance in trance? Got it with a boy, make a big noise, gonna be the world, gonna be a big man someday. Got blood on your face, your big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place. We will rock you with the power of friendship. Boom, motherfucker! Wow, after playing in ×4 speed, this game feels real fucking slow. Wow, I like that it's not doing the full animation, but I don't know what triggers it. Maybe mash and B triggers it to go. That's a pretty good hit, Zidane. We gotta start using it. We might have to use an elixir. Oh god. You're not gonna do anything, bro. We're not casting any magic. Elixir! Eco! Oh, sorry. I don't have to be afraid anymore, but I'm not gonna die alone. Let me keep trance, please. You've got status prevention on stuff, right? Yeah, I've got some. I don't know if I have enough, but I do have some. Ultima! I should have the exact same setup for Ozma. He did it. We won. No. Oh no, my God. Ugh. What happened to the crystal? Where is it? You stand before the final dimension, and I am the darkness of eternity. Who are you? All life bears death from birth. Life fears death, but lives only to die. It starts with anxiety. Anxiety becomes fear. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Now the random persona heel turn. The only cure for this fear is total destruction. Kuja was a victim of his own fear. He concluded he could only save himself by destroying the origin of all things, the crystal. What the heck are you talking about? Good, I like that line. Why are you telling me all this? Now the theory is undeniable. Kuja's action proves it. All things live to perish. At last, life has uncovered its truth. Now it is time to end this world. What do you mean by that? I exist for one purpose, to return everything back to the zero world, where there is no life and no crystal to give life. In a world of nothing, fear does not exist. This is the world that all life desires. Who the hell do you think you are? Fucking dick? You're not ending anything. Never. Not as long as we have the will to live. Foolish creature. Your fears have already deluded you. One day you will choose destruction over existence as Kuja did. When he sought to destroy the crystal, the purpose of life ended. Now come, enter the zero world that you desire. No! We'll destroy you and prove you wrong. And through our memories, future generations will see that we can overcome any fear. We can't give up now. We have to fight together. Even if we lose, it doesn't matter. Our memories will live on inside others. So even if we are born to die, I'm not afraid. I'm gonna live. Plus, Zidane doesn't die, right? Yeah. Amaranth! Don't screw up. What? Word up, turn up. Quina, the hero we need. Though I am unworthy, accept my powers. It's gonna be real sad to see Vivi go. For sure. Because I do love Vivi. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything. Good luck. That hurts a little bit. What? Korra's dagger's gonna give herself up for Zidane, right? That's the only logical. Please accept my powers. No! Oh, but you have social links, don't worry. Fuck yeah. We're at full life, right? Yeah, what do we care? Persona! It's really sad to see Vivi go, but we'll hope they come back. We've come too far to lose now. Let's just wrap this up and go home. All of us, all half. You do not know what you have done. I am the giant, faceless, voidless, shapeless light from the sky. The light of darkness. Kingdom Hearts. I have no head, but I have the biceps of a god. I am the spinny circle man. Oh, I do have a head, and many circles around said head. Many circles, it's kind of my theme. Ah! Vivi dead, bro? Right now, Vivi's dead. But it would also mean Dagger's dead, and I am not 100% certain that they killed both those characters. Blue Shockwave. Ooh, sound and attack. Ooh, that was a good hit. Come on! With the power of friendship, you can't stop us. This might be anticlimactic, but it might not be. We'll see how what kind of tricks he's got. We have long animations on most of our attacks, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, what's that gonna do, huh? What is that gonna do? Oh, come on, get with the times, man. Shell, that doesn't do shit. This is a cool song, though. There's been like 2 or 3 cool songs right here at the end, but there was like a couple really bad ones when we were getting those 4 mirrors and shit. I guess Shell does protect against that. It does not protect against our auto attacks, though. Grand Cross. Nice lips, though, on that boss. Very voluptuous. Voluptuous? Sephiroth style attack. That is quite a Grand Cross. Ooh, that's like a, yeah. I guess, what is it called? It's like a plus sign in 3 dimensions. What is that called? Like a diamond, basically, I guess, but without the sides. It casts Doom and Stop and Petrify. Alright. Won't lie, that was pretty good. We could get petrified to death. That's very possible. Let's get through this a little bit. Neutron Ring. Guess we'll Asuna on Zidane. Hey, good job. You helped Quina out. Thank you. Frog Drop. Yeah, this guy's got some creative attacks. We don't have anti-petrify, anti-stop. I don't know if you can have anti-stop, but... Oh, he's done? At least the first phase? Why defy your fate? Wait, we're sort of fighting Jesus. Oh. Oh, he took Petrified Zidane with them. Thank you. Is this the will to live that powerful? No. But hours of grinding against Elder Dragons is! They always attribute it to some, like, emotion when it's really just a numerical. Like, no, you lost because of math. Our numbers are greater than your numbers. Was that it? There's got to be another phase. This is not the end. I would hope not. I am eternal. As long as there is life and death, there will be me, Jesus Roth. We did it. Potentially. I don't know. Bloop. Oh, is the tree dancing? Oh, dude, the tree's like a giant guardian from Zelda. That's gross. Are they retracting or going out? I think they're going out. Look what's happening. So, this is what Kuja said was true. The tree is beginning its violent reaction. What's gonna happen? I don't know, but it doesn't look good. You're right. I doubt anyone could have survived that explosion. No! Captain! They are still alive. What? Where are they? Over there. Where are they? There. Oh, I see them. You, tall one. Sir! Hey, Computer Knight, ma'am. I did not ask for your name. Contact the Hilda Guard right away. Yes, sir, ma'am, sir. Please be alive. Sire, we're receiving a transmission from the Red Rose. Best way to do it, right? Just over there. Punch it up on the main line. This is the Red Rose. You're not General Beatrix. Who are you? My name is Mikoto. Everyone is alive. They are very close to them. How do you know? I can hear him. Who? Who? Prepare to land immediately. Yes, sir. Click, 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 click. Hey, VV! That's the Hildegard 3. Looks like Sid came to rescue us. Sid! Thank heavens you're all safe. Come quickly, we haven't much time. Farewell, Zidane. Ah, damn it! Still got garland stuck in my head. Why don't you go on ahead? I'll catch up with y'all later. I have to take care of something. What are you fucking talking about? They're all take off on an airship. He's still alive. He can't be. Zidane, what are you doing? I gotta go anime, guys. Dang it. Yeah, my brother! Steiner, take care of Dagger. What? What do you mean by that? Kuja's still alive. I can't just leave him. This is ludicrous. Just because you two are on the same planet does not mean... No, that's not the reason. Come on, Zidane. Why are you doing this? Because I might have done the same thing if I were in his shoes. I probably would have fought against you guys and wrecked Heaven and Gaia like he did. I know it sounds crazy, but I know deep down inside I have to do this. You're not crazy, Zidane. But you go help Kuja, not good idea. It's too dangerous. I can't just leave him. There's no way I could live with myself. Is he going to help him or to save him? Naruto and Sasuke could have flipped. I don't know, man. You're making a big mistake. I don't think Naruto could ever be Sasuke. He doesn't have the bitterness in his heart for that. Maybe. But we all have to make big decisions in life sometimes. And for me, that's now. Gotta face up to it just like Vivi did when he confronted his fears to find out about himself. That was a big decision for Vivi. I don't know about that. I don't think it was a really big deal. That's what you think, but I might not be doing this if it weren't for you. You've definitely taught me to take life more seriously. Wait, did you already kill the final boss? I think so. It was this big Jesus guy. He was like 3 hits. He was like real fucking easy. You're obviously not gonna change your mind, so I'm coming with you. The principle of knighthood requires that one assist his comrades in times of need. I shall accompany you as well. Whoa, wait a minute. Like you said, it's my moment, so don't butt in. You guys have your own someday. Besides, you guys have more important things to worry about, like Burmecia and Alexandria. For once in your life, why can't you be honest? Sorry, but I can't. Can't just walk away. It goes against my nature. You're a real simpleton. Forget it, guys. There's no stopping this fool. What are you still doing here? Get on board right now. It was very easy, Brad. Very easy. Just leave him. He's gotta get out of here. That guy will never change. Oh, he's literally changed more than any other character in the shortest amount of time, so you're full of shit, Zidane. Alright, you heard the man. Get out of here before it's too late. I love you. You better come back. Zidane, I need to eat more different food. I still hungry. You need to come back. Take me more place. Show me more food. I still can't believe you're doing this. You've changed, Zidane. Till we meet again. You've taught me another big lesson in life. Thanks. Zidane, my butt is always shaded differently than the rest of my body to make it look like it's a big bubble. Because I want it enunciated for people to see. Princess, we must go. Okay. Everyone else has normal buttocks, but mine is made to look shiny. I mean, Your Highness. The abduction is over. I can't take you any further. I'm sorry for being so selfish. No, you're not being selfish. You've done so much for us. You've done so much for me. If it weren't for you, I probably would have led a meaningless life. With you, I was able to see so much of the world and meet so many people. We faced many hardships too, but I think I finally know what's important. I'm so fortunate to have met you. I'll never forget our trip together. Thank you, Zidane. Thank you. Promise me one thing. Please come back. I didn't say yeah, I promise. I am a monkey man. I'm a Super Saiyan man. Gonna go find my brother underground man. I've got this thing I've gotta go do. What is it? I don't know, but I gotta go do it. I have memories from the beginning of all existence like we all do. I didn't say when and I can live forever. Wait, what? I've got the largest fucking handcuffs of all time. My cuffs are so much bigger and they're not connected to anything. Kuja, can you hear me? I'm coming to get you. You still have time. Forget about me and go. Just shut up and stay where you are. I don't understand you. Okay, here goes nothing. Yeah! I'm gonna save you or kill you. I don't know which one. I still don't know. In my head, it's like, oh, you should kill him. But I think he's coming to save him like an idiot. Oh yeah, I'm buying this. This looks legit. I'm in. Yeah, this does not look like a character model being put over a backdrop. If you guys have ever seen an old, cheesy Chinese action movie, this is what it was like. Dun, dun, dun. He knows exactly where he's going and what he's doing. Everything is going according to plan. It's kind of like the evil forest, no? Is the evil forest somehow connected to this? Like, is the evil forest really just the roots of this tree or something? I'm sure there's lore about it. Blup! Yeah, I'm buying it. Are these all frozen people? Hey. Shit! Ploof! Oig. Oig. Oh, phew, I'm still alive. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this crazy situation. Let's take it from the beginning. I guess that was pretty crazy. Yeah, Zidane, you said it. Hey, yay! Zidane! Ugh. I'm too beautiful to die. What are you doing here? I thought I told you to go. Sorry, I thought I told you to go. Kappa, baka. Wouldn't you do the same for me if you knew I was dying? Because I love you. Don't say dumb things like that, Baka. Your comrades were able to escape? Yeah, I knew they had something. I knew you had something to do with it. I'm glad they made it, despite trying to kill all of you from the very moment I first knew of your existence for the last several decades. I'm happy that they lived. Yeah, well, it's our turn to get moving. I don't deserve to live after all that you've done, after all that I've done. I'm useless to this world. No one's useless. But you guys always listen to my speeches, so you were kinda okay. No matter how many times I monologued about how beautiful I am and how perfect my plan was, you listened. You helped us escape, remember? After you guys beat me, I had nothing left, no more to lose. Then I finally realized what it means to live. I guess I was too late. Huh? Hey, don't you go dying on me, aight? Oh! Tentacle porn time. Oh no! Oh my bejeebus, we gotta get out of here. Kuja, shit, yeah, fuck him. He's not redeemed. What? Zidane, he's not redeemed. Zidane is semi-unredeemed as a good character for thinking he's a good character. Kuja, what you did was wrong. You may have killed countless lives, countless amounts of times, and only cared about death, and then destroyed the core of all existence in an attempt to selfishly destroy all life in response to you being jealous that you had to die and things could keep living. But you're not too bad. Like, come on, no, fuck him. Fuck him, you can't redeem him. We do not want to forget this. We want your memory to live on forever. I don't. To remind us that we were not created for the wrong reason. That our life has meaning. Oh, wow. Kuja, wow, really true hero. Sometime later, the trees started eating all of life. They didn't seem to know how to stop it. But it's okay, because life kinda sucked. So this is Alexandria. Hey, rat face. Oh! You took all of our chocobos thingies. Hey, pick a place, will ya? I don't believe it. Vivi? Vivi? No memories? How do you know that name? What are you talking about? It's me, Puck. How could you forget me? Puck? You know Puck. The Prince of Burmecia? Oh, come on, what's wrong with you? You're not Vivi, then who even are you? I'm Vivi's son. Oh! Is someone knocking on the door?
Yeah.
I can't hear. I have headphones on and I'm playing Final Fantasy, but you know what? You heard it. Yeah, Vivi has a son.
Yeah, he made a little, well, he probably...
Baby, where you going? He probably got to work on, you know, he probably jerked off into some mist.
Well, that's all they're made, right? They're just mist clones?
They're just, yeah, something like that. And the mist is like the souls of people.
Nice. So he's just people.
Dude, I'm telling you, do you remember the end of this game?
Yeah, that's the worst part.
They just went like full Kingdom Hearts. He's like, the darkness of memories are innate in all humans, and I am the darkness lord. And
I just hate it because they made it feel like a love story. It's like, it's all about Zidane and what's her face?
Dagger, yeah.
Dagger, that's right. It's such a bad name. She had a name before, and it was like Princess.
Garnet.
Yeah, which is way better than Dagger, which is so stupid.
Hey, what's this little knife called? That's called a dagger. Yeah.
That's it. That's me to a T.
That's it. No matter, like, the amount of character development in this game almost is non-existent, besides a couple characters.
Steinhardt is the big one.
Steiner?
And Vivi.
Like, so Vivi is great. I love Vivi.
She's awesome.
But Steiner, every time he has an option to like show character development, he doubles down on every old original trope he has.
He's kind of like
the only thing
he's halfway between a comic relief character.
He's so comic relief in the weirdest times.
What's her face? The tongue lady. I actually just skipped on getting on my playthrough. I didn't even get her. I hate her so much.
Quina is like essential to the super boss fight, but is also fucking terrible. I liked Quina at first, and I was like, oh, that's funny. But then it's just like the weirdest moments. They're like, but I want food. Jump into water. Like, no.
Like, please. And then she's got that terrible.
Thank you.
What is it called? The frog catching minigame.
God, yeah.
You get good gear from, but it's fucking a pain in the ass. I think it's only gear.
There's frog reproduction mechanics. There's a infinite number of frogs. You can speed it up by letting male and female frogs mate. Amaranth fucking sucked.
That guy right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the most undeveloped character because he comes at the end and he just doesn't matter like at all.
He's got
like
the ugliest character model.
Oh yeah, awful. I see you're playing on the HD version or whatever.
Yeah.
He's actually one of the strongest characters in the game though. I'm pretty sure on the speedruns you use him solely.
In speedruns he's used almost entirely because you could use the throw weapon. That's really powerful.
Throw weapon, and
for post game stuff he's not that good. If you're gonna do super boss. Quina's good because the frog drop could do straight 9 damage. Freya's good because they have an attack that does straight 9 damage, and Zidane.
Dragoon, right?
Yeah, she's easily my most powerful character. Good food. Yeah, that was right. That was Quina in the intro of the game, right? You go into the castle and there's literally Quina standing there, but it's just called head chef.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then the head chef's never there again.
I didn't know if it was her or one of her people.
I don't. Man, when Garland starts going on his rant about who you are and what he's like, you were the angel of death and he was the other angel in the darkness inside of the souls of the mist. I made the tree to siphon souls from Terra to Gaia. Like, this is fucking stupid.
The scene where, like, you know, Zidane's all like butthurt and he's walking by himself and that music's playing.
Yeah.
And, like, tries to fight and he can't. I thought that was a good like part of the game. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah. There were parts that were good, but
no, like you're right. The character development's like almost non-existent. I would say Vivi's probably the most developed character. That's probably why he's the most favorite.
Brad does say you suck in that you know.
Oh yeah, I read that. I ignored him.
He ignored it, Bradley.
On purpose.
I mean, boldface.
I do like Steinhardt. What is his name? Steiner's counterpart, the girl. I forget her name.
Beatrix. She's pretty cool.
She's awesome. She also has like one of my favorite themes, Roses of Bay. That song. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I liked it.
The only character I grew attached to was Vivi, and I liked Steiner in like the beginning of the game, and then when he's gone for a huge chunk.
Oh, yeah, well, he's part of like the 3-man team or something like that.
Yeah, and then he comes back quite a bit later, and then he's just like, he's kind of underleveled, but then he's kind of doing the same stuff. Like, he's like, oh, Steiner's gonna get with the party. He's like, you're all thieves, and you need to get the fuck out of the castle. Like, God, just have some moment. And then at the very end, in the last dungeon, he's like, I haven't decided if I think you should marry the princess or not. It's like, oh, that's some development. He's like, okay, he's like, might be okay with it.
He's also got the coolest abilities in the game, though.
He's very good.
Basically the Dark Knight.
But it's just like,
He's easily the most broken, like, I mean, maybe not the most late game, but like, I feel, for me at least, maybe it's because I played him on, he was the strongest character I had.
I mean, Freya just does straight 9 damage every turn, guaranteed for me.
He did post games. I already bothered with the post games. I did not like the post games.
It's most of it's pretty, like, this is by far the easiest Final Fantasy I've played.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I could
maybe 8. I don't know. It's hard to say. 8 is so complex. I think without doing complicated stuff, this is easier than 8 is. But 8 you could break really early and it never gets harder.
Yeah. Now this one I never struggled on a single fight. Even the final boss fight was just you know.
I'm saying so. The guide that I said recommended fighting Ozma at level 75 minimum, which is the game's super boss. I was level 65, beat her on my second try, and it was like a short fight. Like it took me an hour and a half to beat Penance in Final Fantasy X. Yeah, the big jawbreaker.
Yeah. It's a terrible super boss. It looks awful.
It looks awful. It was easy.
Was there a story behind it? Like it's like
no, it's just an Aeon in a cave, and they're like, wow, yeah, look at that Aeon.
You get it?
You get the ability to summon Arc, which is a big ship for Garnet, but I don't use Garnet.
My team throughout the entire game when I actually got to choose people was literally the first 4 characters you get. It was her, Zidane, Steiner, and.
It's funny because I use the opposite. I use Quina, Freya, and Eco.
Though I did like Freya a lot. I thought she was a cool character, and I did like her abilities, even though I usually don't like the Dragoons.
I like Freya, and her abilities were fucking great. Eco, I just liked way more than Garnet.
I just hated her because of her character.
I thought she was
I'm sure
fine.
she's stronger
I
than
liked her
Peter.
much more than Dagger because I don't know. Dagger didn't really do much in the entire game. Like say much, do much. Eco is kind of like obnoxious, that annoying little girl character, but she never went like that hard on it. And then she kind of, I don't know, it was like Vivi's counterpart. I kind of liked it. Oh, Princess Cornelia is torn from a
This is where she like sees him and she like hugs him.
I think the hard part.
I knew I'd be together with you.
I think the hard part of the super boss is probably unlocking it because you have to do all of the Chocobo side content.
Isn't that stuff terrible?
It's very terrible and really hard. I will say it's real fucking easy with an online guide and ×4 speed. Does not take much time, especially because you have a time limit to dig up shit, and you go ×4 speed, the clock doesn't go down faster. So you just gotta do it, and it makes it basically easy. But like I went on average, you can find up to 8 things in an attempt. I went on average to finding 1 to 2 to finding 8 every single time. I got more upset with the gear as the game went on, the gear system. Like I liked it a lot in the beginning, and then I'm just like never using the strong gear. And then I got to a point where I'm powerful enough where like now it doesn't even matter. I don't need it.
It did kind of line up where whenever you got new gear, you still needed to have your old gear.
Yeah.
So you had to just to get the abilities, and that was kind of annoying. Because it was almost every time you got new gear.
And then
you wanted all the abilities.
by the time I got all the abilities, like I was so powerful, it didn't matter what gear I had equipped. I could have had all the starting stuff equipped, and the stats of that the gear provides is almost irrelevant.
There's a dungeon like that.
Yeah,
Right?
I didn't even know because I turned off random encounters because I already beat the post game boss when I went there,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, I'm not. Once I beat the optional boss, I turned off random encounters for the rest. I'm like, that's it, I did it.
That was.
There's no more challenge in the game.
Because it was scaled for that, and it wasn't.
Because yeah, all your things. And plus, it only affected attacks. Like you could use magic.
Magic in that dungeon. Like that was the thing. You couldn't use magic, and it was like for some reason it was flipped, where you needed low level gear.
There's one you can't use magic. I don't know if it was that one. Maybe it was.
That one.
But then I must have I was using Freya's for the boss fight. Freya had dragon, whatever. It's like one of her abilities.
Your abilities weren't effective, which is really like some characters are really strong.
It did straight night. Like I should be paying attention to this, but I'm just not interested.
No, it's just the love story part. And then Steiner and Beatrix hook up, and then.
Oh. I hope Eco and Vivi have a kid.
Why?
Because this is times
They don't even
past.
talk to each other. I'm pretty sure they don't even talk to each
No,
other.
they do. Vivi shows interest in her. He's like has like a little boy crush on her. Vivi's not a boy, right?
No, he's a thing.
He's a thing. Like that's the thing. I thought that they would like address what he is. Like why is he different? And they're just like he's a prototype. Well, why'd you make it smaller?
All the people in his village, like in his kind, are all like masculine, but they're definitely all one step. There's not like, oh, that's a female mage thing. Or...
I think they did something like that, but I don't. I'm gonna find a pen really quick. That way I can update my list after the credits roll. I'm at 35 hours, but that is with ×4 speed for the grinding.
For 100%.
It's not 100%. I'm not gonna call it 100% because I don't have all the achievements. And there's a lot of them I could get. Like 100%ing this would probably take only 5 more hours, but I'm not. It's all stuff that's not fun, and the super boss to me is really the mark of finishing a Final Fantasy game.
Well, yes, yeah, no, 100%.
Like I'm 31 out of 85 achievements on one playthrough with the super boss, and a lot of them are like use white magic, use blue magic, summon, defeat 10,000 enemies. I've only defeated 600
that's it.
in the playthrough.
How? That's insane. It must have not been counting. There's no way you only fought 600 enemies.
That's very. Oh, here's a cool
Enemies,
little
not
cutscene.
fights. Enemies. Like,
Yeah. Purchase all available items, which you can only do like, and some of these things are missable. Like you can just miss stuff on a playthrough. There's a lot of missable treasure chests, and if you miss too many, you can't do it. I don't think they get the other thing. Get 99 frogs, which unlocks a secret boss fight. I didn't do the one that I was gonna do is I was gonna do the Hades boss fight, but I don't know where to find Hades. There's a second super boss that's easier than Ozma that you get a synthesis shop from. It's Hades, and if you fight him after defeating Ozma, he's like, "What? You defeated Ozma?
oh,
Shit, it's already too late to retreat."
that's actually cool.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, but I was looking up where to find him, and it told me that if you already defeat Ozma, he'll have dialogue, and I was like, that's pretty great.
He was not
I just don't like Dagger. I feel like it's just so much weaker than Tifa or Ares. Like in general, even Ares is only in the game for like Ares is in
Ares
like
is actually like a character.
yeah,
Like,
and weaker than Tifa, weaker than Yuna in Final Fantasy X, weaker than Riona in Final Fantasy VIII.
no, she was a very like.
I feel like they artificially tried to inflate her character development. Like in the very beginning, like you have her, you're like, oh, her name's Dagger. You go to the next village, and they always act like everyone's always making fun of the way she talks, but now she could talk like a tomboy, which then they drop and never bring back again. But even then, it's like she's like, oh, I appreciate it. Wait, I'm sorry, I can't talk like that. I mean, thanks. Like it's not that. But one, she didn't talk that weird. Two, she didn't change the way she talks that much, and she's like, then she leaves like. The next, like right after the hunt, she poisons everyone and runs away. And they're like, Zidane, it's your fault because you always treated me like a kid. It's like he never once did. Like you guys talked like 4 times ever.
He kidnapped you, and then it was like this. That was like.
I didn't have a choice. I had to live. I wanted to come home to you. Like they did a particularly bad job with Dagger, and she's a corner character, which is kind of.
Well, I thought the main character really was Vivi.
Vivi's the main character.
Lamphy story elements.
Lamphy, tell him. Lamphy only likes Vivi.
He's a great character. He's also just like, you know, your the classic black mage. He's an actual.
I have one of the. I know I'm still streaming. Don't. Final Fantasy VV was the name of the game, right? Yeah, sorry, VI. Actually, what does that add up to? That's like
100. I don't even know.
I mean, that'd be 5151, but you could do the math anyway. Like it would be 12, probably 6 and 6. But that's not how you do 12. Roman numerals fucking suck, man.
Is that 6-6? But it would be 6-6. They have a Roman numeral. I don't know. I don't know what number that is.
He's making a joke, but yes, it would be like that would be the name of the game. That'd be the Roman numeral VI. Wonder if that's why they named him that way. I like the entire game is high definition, but the credits aren't. Like they're like super faded. This is just like clearly like one of their CG scenes or whatever. It's not like text.
Yeah.
It's like they made a video and then they put that in.
I mean, Vivi is like one of the characters you have like throughout most of the game, right?
He's in it for basically the entirety.
Like even on like him and Zidane are probably the most split characters.
Vivi makes a lot of the decisions that the party does too. Like things like, why don't we should probably do this? And everyone's like, yeah! I really do like Vivi a lot. They don't really explain how they make black mages or what they look like.
They made him in that town.
They made him with
Right,
eggs. They took mist and put it into an egg, and then they came out. Then they never let me go back down there. There was a little building I wanted to explore, and I cut that was in the back of my mind. Like I could never go into that building. I want to explore that.
I did like the first like 3D picture, the black mage boss.
Yeah.
It was like, what do they
I
call
can't
it?
believe they didn't. That was like the end of it. It was all 3.
They were fucking cool. Like the one you find on the when you're going to the city, the air battle. It was freaking awesome.
There's like 3 of them, and they're all over in like. They're over in like an hour.
They should have been like. They should have brought those back at least for until the.
There could have been some variant on it, or like yeah, they came back somehow more powerful. Like Kuja rebuilt them. We should probably go murder Kuja. Yeah, Vivi.
Good idea.
I didn't go back to this part either.
Oh, you go check your homeboy out?
I mean, he gets saved, but I mean, I didn't go back there because you can just go into the Den of Evil. I got a flying chocobo. So
Does that do anything for you?
Yeah, it lets you can't fight the super boss without it.
Okay. That guy.
So one of the issues is they don't tell you until later that the black mages have the ability to have personalities and develop full consciousness. In the beginning of the game, they like, kill a bunch of black mages and they try to make you feel bad. It's like, look, monster, you killed them all. But it's like, right now they're dolls. You don't know.
Yeah.
And then later they're like, no, see,
Yeah,
they have a city. Then they find out they only have a year to live, and they don't know what it is to die. And then they're all scared of death, and so they go to join Kuja because they're hoping to not die. Like that's all good
He
stuff.
dies, right? Like in a year, he's still those kids he got.
No, Vivi's a prototype. We don't. He lives longer, but it's unknown how long he lives.
I thought it was
Zidane also.
his kids walking.
They also said Zidane is a god and he can't die. He lives eternally.
Yeah, he's the one on his planet.
I guess. I don't know. I did.
Because he comes from the other planet, that guy up. I don't know what it's called.
Terra.
He was made by like Garland, right? Him and
Kuja, but Kuja was made to die
yeah.
with a lifespan, and Zidane was not.
And all those bodies, all those things, just like basically vessels to take over once his body age or some weird shit.
I was watching a speed run, and they got to the point where they're explaining it, and they're like, yeah, the game's basically Dragon Ball Z. Garland, who is the King of Saiyans, sends Goku, who is Zidane, to the planet to destroy it, but he gets amnesia, so he forgets, so he loves the planet. Then Kuja, who's Raditz, his brother, comes down to try to destroy everything, and Zidane has to kill him to save the planet. Like, alright. When you boil it down, yeah. And they're they're monkey people.
Yeah, they are.
Kuja has a tail that they never show. Like, Kuja doesn't have a tail, they're like, yeah, he does, he doesn't show it. Like, okay.
I was in the idea that Goku would be evil if he didn't have brain damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason he's not evil is because he got knocked in the head.
That's basically true, right? Maybe if he would have been raised, he would have been the ultimate evil.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a DBZ spin-off of like evil alternate dimension Goku, the one who didn't lose his memory and didn't destroy Earth.
That's like a show about his dad.
I'm just saying, like, why would you send a baby to destroy the planet? Yeah, I know it's a Super Saiyan baby, but why would you send the baby? Why not send like a 9-year-old after you indoctrinate him?
Because he didn't even get there. He didn't like age on the way there. He was still a child when he got there.
He was like the mother was given birth in the pod, then got a different pod and went back home. Right? It can't be a short trip.
They can straight up destroy planets. Like, I'm pretty sure on the way there, Vegeta like blows up a planet.
He does. He blows up a planet.
Blows it up
I will say that's probably one of the things they wish they could take back. Not Vegeta blowing up a planet, but more like that one that's super evil. He should never really redeem himself, even though he does, because he's cool. But it's one of those things like we gave too much power too early. We blew our load.
Yeah, because they make a big deal about it when like the planet's blowing up with no reason. Like, oh, he just did that.
He just did it, yeah. And then there's like, I mean, that's when they put everything on Earth for the most part. For all the early stuff, it's like, oh, because they don't want to blow up this planet. But why doesn't the bad guy just do it? Because they want a good fight.
Yeah.
If you could blow up planets, then how could you have a good fight if you're not able to use that power?
Yeah.
You just be chucking planets at each other, go into space. Goku could do it. Every time they have a video like this, Zidane looks way too ugly and I hate it. Same in Final Fantasy X though, even. Titus gets very, very Asian. Not that I don't think he's ugly because he's Asian. I don't think he's ugly. But I'm just saying, like, to me, he looks like such a normal white guy. And then he looks so much not like a white guy in the thing. It just feels super, like, contradictory. Kamari Ronso looks like Kamari Ronso. He doesn't look any different. I still don't fully understand, like, the goal.
No, she can't.
I mean, Gohan. Right. I mean, that's literally Chi-Chi. The world's strongest human female. Krillin's the strongest human.
So, even though he's my...
Yeah, that's Brad's favorite character. That's one thing you guys have in common.
I just think, he's the most interesting because he's not overpowered as shit. He has to, like, trick his opponents.
All's well that ends well.
So, on your list of Final Fantasies, I'm sure this is on the bottom.
It is way down there, yeah. I have to beat them all before I make an official list.
I'm sure the older ones are definitely going to get lower. Like
Those are, like, Final Fantasy 2 is probably going to be the worst one. In 4.
No, I think you're going to like that more than Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 2 is renownedly bad. But I played on both.
The offshoots like Final Fantasy, what's it like? Realm.
I'm not gonna do like Crystal Chronicles and things like that. These are just the ones with a number attached. All right. Headphones here so I can hear you guys. All right, we did it, boys. We did it. Final Fantasy. What was I watching? I played that when I started the stream, which means it's gonna get muted by Twitch probably, but whatever.
They automatically do that? Like a
Some,
program?
yeah, they will automatically mute some things. I like my new camera.
Good. Your beard looks good. Oh, sure.
It looks good on camera. Yeah, I'll admit. All right, so right now I do not have it. We will update the list. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy IX beat, and then I'm gonna put Super Boss.
Are you gonna do all the extra stuff? Are you gonna do all the? Are you gonna try to do all the extra stuff? Or are you just gonna?
It depends on the game. I'm not gonna do the extra stuff in many of the games that I don't like. 12 I've already beaten, so I don't need to replay.
Okay.
That would be one that I don't want to replay. All right, Final Fantasy IX. It's on camera. Beat Super Boss. You got Final Fantasy VIII, which is my favorite Final Fantasy that I've never beaten, but I've been to the final boss several times. And again, I've played all these Final Fantasies besides 5. And I've almost beaten basically all of them. I've almost beaten 1, I've almost beaten 2. It's just one of those things where you get distracted or you're just young and you hit a wall and you can't do it. I play 15, it's right there. I didn't put it on my shelf. I have it in a box over there, but I do own 15. But I'm gonna get the Windows version probably, because I just would rather play it on PC.
Yeah.
So 8 is the one I kind of want to go to next. Let's play a quick game and see how far I am. I like that they bring like the classic music for this at the end here. Let's close that. All right, I never had to play Final Fantasy IX again. We're good. I don't think Final Fantasy IX is a bad game. I want that to be prefaced. It could be one of my least favorite Final Fantasies and still be a good game, because Final Fantasy has a lot of really good games. We'll download this really quick. What are you doing? Just get it. Yeah. Quick game. It says like the end. You've done it. But are you done? I mean, there's a lot of side quests, like coffee side quests and Moogle Mail side quests, and there was a really dumb part where, as Sid the Frog, you had to sneak past a monster that kept turning around really fast by mashing a button, and it's required to beat the game. You have to, like, Steiner and everyone's like in this underground. Yeah, it's an underground thing, and you're all in cages, and he's like, I gotta get him out of there. So he's frozen, and it's this weirdly comedic moment, but it's also kind of hard to get through. All right, guys, we're gonna open Final Fantasy VIII, see how far we are. Because I played, I think, a lot. And I don't know if that's one playthrough, though. That might have been me dicking around at another time. And I like everything possible that's optional to do, I've been doing. Like, I've been doing all the extra stuff. I have the optional bosses that they're not like, but like a boss that you could lose, like the spider boss, for example. You don't need to beat it. You just run away. But I make sure I do all the extra shit and defeat it in the time limit, and then I get out. And so I'm doing all this extra stuff, and I'm like, it sounds like a real fucking headache to do that shit again. So here are the ones that I have here right now. I have 13, which
I'm excited for you to play that one because I want to know your opinion on it.
I played it before and I didn't like it. But I don't think it's a game that's bad. I think it's a game that I was so excited for that I was just incredibly disappointed by.
I think you're going to get even more, like this.
No, I mean, now I'm expecting it to be bad, so if the combat is anything better than not total shit, I'll be like, yeah, it was fine.
The combat's easily the best part. It's still pretty, it gets dull really quickly.
123 hours in the Final Fantasy X and X-2. I think about 100 of that is in Final Fantasy X, though. I considered restarting Final Fantasy X. I like the game that much. I really like Final Fantasy X a lot. But I spent a few hours today watching people play. Just watching videos on the lore. There's a lot of lore. Like one thing about Final Fantasy X that almost no other Final Fantasy has is the amount of world building that Spira has, as opposed to other things. It's an incredibly deep and incredibly consistent world. Like it actually feels like they thought through. They created the world, and they created a story in the world. I'm not saying they did it that way, but it definitely feels incredibly consistent all the way through the game. Like, there's some unanswered questions if you get hyper specific about like certain characters. Like, why did this character decide to do this? Like, well, we don't know for sure, but we think they probably did it because of this. Like, guessing some characters' intentions.
Is it Yemen or an alien or some shit? That kind of. No.
There's no aliens, no time travel in Final Fantasy X.
Then what is Yevon? Where do you come from? Why is there only one of them?
Yevon is a dude.
No, okay, the core.
Yeah,
in the
that's literally, it's just a dude. So it was I think it was 3,000 years before the game takes place. Yevon was basically the mayor of Xanarkand. You know, he's like the leader of Xanarkand. He's also the world's most powerful summoner.
So summoning existed before.
Summoning existed before Sin. We're not sure what it was for exactly. It's not told, but it seems to probably be most likely just for like city defense, military purposes. But people also had like Machina.
So aeons are like natural to the world.
Yeah, they're already in the world. So there were faith, which is where aeons come from and things like that. So there was a big Machina war going on. Basically, Bavel had better machines. They had bigger nukes, and they wanted to go. Yeah, and Xanarkand had better summoners, but they still had Machina for their fights. And so Bavel was going to go destroy Xanarkand because both these cities are just evil cities that want to kill things. And so they were going to fight each other. Yevon, the leader, knew he was going to lose, and they were losing. And so then he took all the people of Xanarkand that were willing, that were still alive, that people didn't die and stuff, and they all became faith. And then he summoned an Aeon, and that Aeon was Xanarkand. It was literally a whole city. It was instead of a creature, he summoned an entire city.
So he just duplicated the city?
Basically, but like the city was destroyed, and so he
summoned a new city.
So he summoned.
It was after the fact.
This is when he lost the war. He took all the people, and they went to Mount Gagazet, which is close to Xanarkand, right, or whatever. And so now they're a faith, and he summoned the city, which is just a new. It's basically it's an Aeon. It's not a real city. It's just a summoned
city. Yeah, it's a creature.
And so and then he created Sin at the same time as the guardian of that city. That way, no one would find it and destroy it.
Sin is also an Aeon, then?
Sin is an Aeon, yes.
Okay, it's a very powerful Aeon.
Basically, Sin is his armor. It's like he lives inside Sin.
Okay.
But Sin's entire purpose is to be a gatekeeper between the fake Xanarkand that Yevon created and the rest of the world. And so Sin goes around, destroys all the Machina cities because they didn't want anyone to, like, basically Sin, one, already hated Machina because that's how it destroyed his city, because it was Yevon, but also because in order to keep Xanarkand safe to ensure no one finds it, everyone had to remain primitive, basically. Otherwise...
And where is Xanarkand?
Xanarkand is actually physically located in Spira. It's by the Baj Temple, which is in the southwest corner of the map. You don't get a seed on the map. You don't know exactly where it's at, but it seems to be in the ocean somewhere.
You go there at any point?
No. I mean, you start the game there as Titus. Because Titus is...
That's right, but it looks destroyed when he's there.
No,
no, he's Aeon, though. He's part of the
Titus
Aeon.
is straight up an Aeon, yeah, basically.
That's right, because he falls out of it or whatever, and he washes up...
Yeah, Sin comes and destroys Xanarkand, which is completely counterproductive to his entire purpose, is to protect it. But the thought behind it, why, is that it was Jek's spirit, like... Jek, he kind of overpowered it for a little bit, and because he really wanted Titus and Orin.
Sin, right?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, so when you defeat Sin, basically you create this big fancy Aeon that you get, like the most powerful summoner, Unalesca, created this big Aeon, and then everyone afterwards does that. The big Aeon kills Sin in the armor because it's stronger, and then Yevon possesses that. He just like zoink, yeah, and so that Aeon becomes the new Sin. But in the entire time that Sin has been around for 3,000 years. It might be it's either 1,000 or 3,000 years. I don't remember. It's one of those two numbers. But he gets defeated about 6 times before the main game starts. Like it's like 6 to 10 times in the entire.
Jeez. So what is Jek? Because Jek was the guardian of his summoner.
Yeah, Jek is also an Aeon. He's basically.
That's where he also fell out.
His is one of the biggest mysteries. We're not sure why. But so the only reason he got the Spira, only people can't get into Spira because you have to go through Sin, because only Sin knows how to get there. And if you're a human, you just would die. But
from what?
From Sin would just kill you trying to get there, because you can't physically get there because no one knows how to get there.
Oh, from Xanarkand trying to get.
Yeah, but if you're Xanarkand, if you're in Xanarkand trying to get out, that's fine because you're not real and you could survive Sin.
Okay.
So Jekt was like, so the only thing it's told is that Jekt is out in the ocean. And he's training for Blitzball, and that he somehow comes into contact with Sin and gets thrown in the Spira. So we're not sure exactly if it's dumb luck or if it was just like Sin was coming back to check and he hit it. You know, we're not sure exactly why that happened.
Why was Sin so strong? Like why? Because it was just a bunch of people.
Well, Sin is so strong because he has to be basically strong. It's Yevon's strongest like summoning basically to protect Xanarkand, and he goes around destroying the cities. to ensure that no one gets technologically advanced enough to ever find Xanarkand.
So again, faith is just like the souls, right? That's what makes up the
Faith is basically
and...
people that are dead, that are they're basically like spirits that help create a summon.
Why is the religion you Yevon? Like, how do they start?
So that one started about, I think it's right around that 800 to 1,000 years before the game starts. Is so because Unaleska defeats Sin for the first time. Right, she's the first summoner. She's the son of actually Yevon. She goes to defeat Sin for the first time. Why does she want to do that is kind of unclear, because she also wants Sin to survive to protect Xanarkand, because she also cares about it. So her motives are...
Unaleska knows that Xanarkand still exists?
She knows, yeah, because she was there. She actually was the first summoner. When Xanarkand got destroyed and Yevon created the Dream Xanarkand, her and her husband got out. They weren't there, so they didn't die. And so she was the first one to defeat Sin. And so after they defeated Sin, everyone thought that Sin was dead, because it was the first time. They didn't know he'd come back. And so then Sin came back, and he did the same thing he did again, because everyone tried to rebuild all their cities.
Yeah.
And so Sin came back again, and he destroyed all the cities again. So after he destroyed all the Machina, because he's targeting that, because he's targeting technologically advanced societies, then some people came out and were like, oh, they came out and were like, oh, Sin is targeting Machina. Machina must be like evil. Yeah. So they kind of stigmaed that. And I actually asked this guy this exact question on Twitter today. Let me see if I can find his answer. I was like, why do they view Yevon as a god when he was just like a guy?
Because they knew what he was.
Yeah, but they're like, with his efforts, the Machina war between Bavel and Xanarkand using Sin as a... So it's like I think people know that he created Sin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or maybe not he created Sin, but like Sin was the symbol of power, and because like he had control over it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yevon was a man of incredible power, so he's known to be like godlike in power for summoning. And he was able to use an entire city. So it's not like he just became a symbol.
And then after time,
yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, like you could, if you want to extend it to Christianity, like maybe Jesus was around. He was just a guy that, you know, did some things, but then it gets mythologized over. We're talking hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years.
So that happens. So is at this point, Yevon, after Sin became his armor, is he just like not a person anymore? Like he can't make like conscious thought or anything? He just kind of has a...
No, he's kind of like... He doesn't seem to be sentient in any way. It's like his entire being is just for protecting Xanarkand. Like he's I don't know what he is at this point, but he has like that mass of whatever.
So Jet, because you fight Jet at the end, what is Jet? He's not Sin, is he? Or is he Sin?
He is Sin, 100%. He's the final Aeon. Why?
Because he got sacrificed, so the summoner could summon the final Aeon.
Yeah, because
sacrifice somebody.
Braska turned, Yuna's dad turned Jekt into the final Aeon, which is required because you have to. It's not that it's not that you get turned into the final Aeon. He's required to become the faith. You need a strong emotional bond to create a faith, and that faith then he uses to get an Aeon, which then Yevon will possess.
After it destroys his original.
After it destroys his armor, yes.
That's so weird. Now, so no one knew about Yevon. That's why people weren't even bothering trying to kill, because they didn't know he existed.
They didn't know that he was... no one in Spirit knows Dream Xanarkand exists.
Yeah. But also they don't know Yevon's inside the armor.
They don't know yet. They don't...
Because they think Sin is a... They don't think Sin is because of Yevon, right?
No. They think Sin is purely... It's like... Well, they think... I think they think it might be from Yevon because it's their punishment, and after you've atoned for your sins, then it'll disappear.
Okay,
and when Yevon decides when you've atoned for your sins.
Okay. So they don't know he exists inside it. It's like,
they don't know that he's literally like a being. That's the only reason he's doing that is to protect his Dream Xanarkand, because like it's
so weird that there's a Dream Xanarkand. So these people are all like existing.
It's a Dream Xanarkand, and it's got a physical location.
It's also weird that he was able to sacrifice Jet, who was not a person. I guess he could still become Faith, even though he's an Aeon. I don't know how that works. Dreams
in Final Fantasy X aren't exactly the same because of Pyreflies, right? Pyreflies are what come out of people, and they go to the far plane, and you could re-see them there. They can take physical form. And also, that's the reason they can like breathe underwater, is that the water is super infused with like Pyreflies. And so it allows some sort of superhuman ability to not necessarily breathe underwater. It's not everyone can. It does have to be trained, but there is magic properties to the water in Final Fantasy X. And yeah, it's kind of, I don't know.
That's actually really interesting. I didn't know all that stuff about Yevon and all that stuff.
Because it could be a lot of people that aren't tuned in with the story or just, didn't beat it, go through part of it, think that there's time travel, right? Because Tidus is like, oh, I traveled 1,000 years into the future.
That's right.
That's not what happened. He literally gets transported a few miles, basically, outside of Xanarkand. And
that's funny. I never knew that Xanarkand existed. Like,
yeah, it's actually that place where you go up, where when you start, there's the dead fissure and that stupid temple with that's just right next to Xanarkand. That's the Baj temple. And so Xanarkand's like, and it's like people, we don't know where it's at. Only
Sin does?
Only Sin knows where it's at, or Yevon does, and then Sin gains the knowledge through Yevon, I guess. But it's probably like on the ocean floor of some kind, being protected.
And so Sin's just destroying stuff because he doesn't want Machina to get too advanced so they can attack Dreams Xanarkand again for some reason, or just detect it, I guess.
He doesn't want to. He always wants to keep it safe, but again, he's not like a rational being anymore. Like, he's lost all rationality, and now it just has the purpose of protecting Xanarkand.
Okay.
Because whether or not that was even a good decision.
The world just like the war and everything still happened 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, no, everything that Tidus thinks happens basically did happen, but it also happened to his physical Xanarkand that he was from.
So, what is the dude with the main villain for most of the game?
Seymour?
Yeah, what's up with him? What's
Seymour?
his plan?
His plan is, he doesn't really, he's just a person from Spira. Also, Auron is from Spira. Auron is.
But he's also Fireflies or whatever, right?
He's unsent, yeah, in the game that we're playing.
He
but
himself not to
like,
die.
so because he takes Tidus out of Xanarkand, right?
Yeah. For how? Okay, that's another point. What happened there then?
So what happens is after Jet dies, and they do their thing, and he summons, they kill Sin. Auron, he's like, he can't accept it. He's just like this young guy. These are his two best friends, and they both die. And then Sin comes back, and he's told that he thinks it's futile, and he gets really mad at Unaleska, who's in charge of making sure that Sin never dies, but that Sin can partially die so people can have hope. So like Unaleska's whole plan is just to give people hope, but never let Sin actually die, because she is Yevon's daughter.
So
and
Auron knows Unaleska?
So, because you see them when they go through to Xanarkand, they get there, they go through the whole spiel. Unaleska tells them, in order to get the final Aeon, you have to do this. So Auron's there with Braska and Jecht.
Okay.
And then they go through, and Jecht becomes the final Aeon. And so Auron's like, I don't think you should do this. We could find a different way. They go through with it. They kill Sin. Sin comes back, and Auron then goes back to Unaleska and is like, you fucking piece of shit. I knew it would be futile. And he's just like emotional. And then he gets killed by her. And so then he becomes an unsent. He goes, the actual timeline.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So, how long was Sin dead after? Because Braska.
The actual time limit of the calm, I don't know. It's not long.
It's probably dependent, right, on how the Machina or something.
Sin always comes back in a very short amount of time. It's like
it's almost irrelevant.
It's months to years at the max.
Yeah. Because he already has the Aeon. He already has the form of.
Yeah, he has to, but he becomes weak, and he has to he has to just recuperate strength.
So this all happening is like 20 or something years before the main events of the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost exactly, which is crazy that Sin could be defeated again so quick, because it literally is the first time Unaleska defeats Sin, it's 600 years before someone defeats it a second time.
Yeah,
and then it becomes more rapid after that.
Okay, probably people try figuring out. So he goes back, he fights Unaleska, loses.
Yeah, he gets wiped.
So he becomes unsent, which is the thing apparently people can do.
Unsent, it's someone that has to be. I think you have to be born in Spira, and you have to have an incredibly strong emotional tie to not die. And then I think there's probably also some inherent other values to it too, that you have to be of a certain strength or a certain mental state or something.
So it is his will to not die, so he wants revenge or something?
Yeah, he basically wants revenge. He just wants to fuck up Unaleska for the most part.
So why doesn't he disappear after Unaleska dies then? Because he doesn't.
He disappeared because once you're unsent, I think you're kind of, it's not when you fulfill your purpose like it is like a ghost. You're just an unsent now.
Okay.
And then Yuna could send you. And like Yuna as a summoner could still forcibly send you to the far plane.
That's right. She does that dance.
Yeah, she does the dance
to make sure people get sent back.
Yeah, otherwise you become fiends.
That's right. That's how the monsters come from. Okay.
But so Auron he doesn't die right there in Unaleska. He gets mortally injured, and he actually crawls like all the way to Mount Gagazet. And then he finds Kamari, and Kamari, he's like, hey, help Braska's daughter, please. It's like his last thing he said is a dying wish. And Kamari was already on his way out because his two brothers ripped off his horn and called him a little bitch.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck this place. So he went and took Yuna. He did that. But so Auron then dies. He becomes an unsent. Kamari doesn't know because Kamari thinks he dies, I guess. But Kamari probably secretly knows that he's like, this is the guy I saw die. Yeah, and he's not dead. So he probably knows that almost the entire game, and he just doesn't say anything. But that's very Kamari anyway. Aaron is an unsent, knows that Jecht is Sin because he obviously knew that.
Saw that, yeah.
So he basically goes to Sin, and the Jecht part of Sin's like, hey, the Jecht part of Sin takes him to Titus. He takes him to
That's like
Dreams Anakin.
Part. He's like part of his rebellion. He forces Yevon to go
part of his rebellion. It's kind of like a separate part to because that's not when he's attacking. Because he grows up. Aaron spends a long time in Dreams Anakin, even though he's a member of Spira.
Oh, so he like throws him
because Jecht is like, hey, take care of my son, right? Okay. And that's like the last wish of Jecht before he goes. And so Jecht gets him over there, and he can survive it because he is an unsent. If he was a human, you couldn't have done that. So then he spends a lot of time with Titus, and then he might go back and forth between Spira sometimes. We don't know. But then at the end is when he's getting attacked, and then Aaron takes Titus.
Saves him, basically? For some reason, Jecht was probably...
Jecht's entire purpose was he wanted to get Titus into Spira, that because he thought he's not exactly the most rational thing, but he's like, maybe they could find a way to... He didn't think that they'd find a way to stop Sin, but they're like, I at least want to die. I don't want to be Sin anymore. And I think Aaron and Titus could get it done. Especially because he knew Braska had a daughter that was a summoner. So that's basically Jecht's plan.
It kind of was a selfish reason. He's like, I want to die. So
yeah, he's like, because he doesn't like hurting all these people, like, right?
Okay,
he doesn't really have the control, and he's killing all these people all the time.
So he rebels, gives Aaron and Titus a chance to go to Spira and start that process again. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron's character, that's
Aaron's really cool. Jecht is really cool too. Like the Braska, Jecht, Aaron, like trio. Like if you go look at the Jecht spheres, if you find them throughout the game, they're actually fucking dope. I love going and watching those.
I didn't get all of them, but they were like one of my favorite parts of the game was going through all of them.
Yeah, they got a great dynamic going. I wish that would be a prequel game. I would love to play that game. Cool. Yeah, no, it's like the world is super like consistent and like thought out for like thousands of years.
Yeah, that's pretty. I really like the idea that Zendikar still exists. Like Dream Zendikar is just like in the ocean, away from everyone.
It is. It's just in the ocean, and you just can't get there because
you won't let you.
One, no one knows it exists. No one's gonna look on the bottom of the ocean.
After they beat Yevon, though, does Dream Zendikar get destroyed?
Yes.
Because that's why Titus.
Yeah, that's why Titus disappears.
So then, what's X2 about? Because X2 is all about Yuna trying to find Titus.
Yeah, so this is actually a very interesting part that it kind of feeds into more of the lore of Final Fantasy X. Because Faith, it requires like memories and stuff. Zanarkand is literally the memories of the Faith. So there's some sort of limit to what it could do, but it's not like a replaying loop. It's not like...
Right, because they're living their life out.
It's like, so basically...
Like time passes?
Yeah, so time actually passes. So thousands of years, but there's obviously restrictions. They don't technologically progress. There's some sort of... Like, if we saw a whole lifetime in there, we would see the inconsistencies in the world that they don't see, probably, because it's part of
it's probably just them living their day-to-day life, no progress.
Because they can't leave Zanarkand or anything.
They probably can't, yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we would notice as weird that they don't notice as weird, because it's, it's a self-contained little world. But, so, there was, thousands of years ago, a character that, Shinru, or whatever, the guy that looks like Titus, he's just straight up, like, he's the guy that existed. He just existed 1,000 years ago in the real Zanarkand.
Yeah.
And so the basically it's I don't think it's explicitly said, but he when they died or whatever, they created Dream Zanarkand. That guy was in Dream Zanarkand. And just as generations go, it's like alterations of these characters start to happen. So even though Titus never existed, like that guy existed, and he's obviously just like Titus. Like so when people have kids in this world, the people can have kids and stuff, and so it's kind of like it's like a very limited evolution. You just get small deviations in these characters.
So eventually, Shinru's evolved kind of into Titus.
After basically multiple generations.
Like a slightly different person.
Yeah, and there's like this is where it's like you don't know the hyper specifics of this exact thing. How do generations change? But there seems to be a sort of like a believable movement room of how a person can change from having a kid. Like if Titus is a kid, he'll be in a certain range where he won't be a clone of Titus, but he can't be far enough off of the center of what the original memory was.
Yeah, because it's still okay. That makes sense.
So he's not going to be like born like a black kid or something, right? He's gonna be Titus with some different physical traits that's going to be very similar. Because obviously Jecht doesn't look anything like Titus.
What's 10-2 about them? Like Yuna trying to find.
She's trying to find Titus. I mean, she still doesn't know Dream Zanarkand's a thing, really.
Yeah. Right?
Like no one knows it's like a physical location. they kind of start to
But
understand.
it's dead now. It's gone though. So
It's gone. Yeah.
she can't
But
find it.
like, so I don't know. But Titus finds a way to come back. It might be through the memories of other things. Like they might add more stuff onto it. I don't know much about the future in 10-2. Plus, it's probably like
She does meet Titus though, right? The end of it.
I think you can get Titus to come back at the true ending.
100% good ending or whatever.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, she's looking for someone that's Titus that she thinks might be Titus, but it's not Titus. It's someone that died 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's a Shinru guy.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching the ending.
It's about
Vegna Gun.
Gun.
The beach where they first find him, and he's like there. I don't know if that's the canon ending or just like
the game is about Vegna Gun, which is basically Bavel's super weapon that they had thousands of years ago that destroys Xanarkin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their super weapon, and someone's trying to revive it, basically.
You stop.
Yeah, and you don't know that for a long time, but eventually you learn that's like, oh, okay, someone's trying to revive Vegna Gun, which is this crazy beast under Bavel. That was it's like a sentient machine thing that was like their super weapon, and I think Titus comes back, and I think it's probably something related to like there was enough memories of him in the current Spira that he could be summoned again or something weird. Like I don't know how that works. Like he probably shouldn't be able to come back.
That might not be the canon. That
they-
might just be the ending. Like
That feels good as a fan. Yeah.
No. I mean, games do that a lot where they don't have like the non-canon endings and stuff.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X has a lot. There's a whole book of the history of Final Fantasy X. It's called like Final Fantasy X Compendium or something. I don't know, but I think it only was released in Japanese, so there's a translated version. But actually, this guy right here, I watch a lot of his videos. Dan's G.
You're watching Kill Shot, huh?
Yeah, I do like that song. Let's see if we could find. I don't know if it's in our most popular. It's some. I just like see it. It just shows up. 20 things about Final Fantasy X you didn't know.
Is there really 8 hours of cutscenes, or is it also the dialogue? For like
If it's a full movie, it might include gameplay.
like the dialogue, all important dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, it might even include things like I don't know. It might include like actual boss fights and stuff, just like one attempt through really quickly or something. I don't fully know. I don't.
Sometimes they have important dialogue.
I'm not gonna. Okay, here we go. This is the timeline of Spirit. This goes from the earliest known thing of the Spira world all the way up through
Ending of the game.
Yes. And so one thing you probably don't know, which is kind of bullshit, but it is confirmed by the developers, and it's another stupid thing 10-2 did.
Okay.
Basically, is Final Fantasy X is a really long prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Like the world eventually becomes the Final Fantasy VII world.
Why? Who?
So
Is there any like correlation with the developers saying that, or?
yeah, there's like dots. There's like this becomes that.
The Firefly system doesn't even work in.
Fireflies basically are like they become like the life stream or something like that. Like I don't remember the exact evidence for it, but the ones that are big is that in Final Fantasy X2 there's a guy, the guy that's like I'm just a kid, and he does the dress spheres, and he's on your ship. He's one of the Gull Wing guys. His Shinra, he becomes the founder of the Shinra technology that becomes the energy
It's supposed
plants.
to be like thousands of years before Midgard, though. Or like
Yeah,
all
it's got to be. It's like a long time. He develops the original technology that lets him. Yeah, because he's trying to find out how to utilize fireflies for like a resource or something like that. He's trying to kind of figure it out. He's not really doing that much, and it's actually the Albed guy, the guy that always has the shops. I don't remember his name.
The guy you like invest money in and all that stuff.
There's a Waka, but then there's like Rin. I think his name is Rin. He's like one of the leader of the Albed.
Okay.
He's got like really long blonde hair that's always super straight. But he's like he's investing money into Shinra to develop this. But like you don't know, it's kind of like it's like side dialogue stuff. But then he develops the technology that does that because obviously Spirit doesn't look anything like Final Fantasy. So maybe the layout
of years before.
Maybe the layout does.
I don't think so. I mean,
but the fact that no one ever like references it or anything, it's one of those things like it feels like they just tacked it on after the fact.
There's no like the Magicka system is completely different. Like they don't have like materia they use magic from. Maybe like something
like materia. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are inconsistent, but it's like it could be explained with 1,000 years of
maybe
alteration. Like, but again, it's one of those things like they could make it true because like it is, but it's also like, is it the actual? I'm saying it's one of the feels like one of those things they tack on to be like, oh, that feels like all of Kingdom Hearts stories. Like this is this because this is. So you just keep adding things.
It's like too much work to actually like explain it properly. It's like
they just keep trying to. They just tried to add it, but like it's totally different than the history of Spirit, which feels very like okay. There's like a logical timeline from one point to the other, and there is like a lot of like obviously things that aren't like Fireflies.
It's probably like a timeline, probably a little more consistent. The one between like Final Fantasy Tactics and 12, because that's all the same universe.
That's like, and that's
actually the same time because Ball Theory is in the Final Fantasy Tactics game.
It's like obvious that could be connected. There's nothing. I think the technology is a little more advanced than 12. Like they have bigger cities and stuff.
No, it is after the fact. I'm pretty sure. But Balthier and the bunny chick are definitely characters. But you can also get Cloud in that game. So I don't know actually how that works out.
Yeah, Lamphy's like, yeah, it's this many years later, so it makes sense. Like, all right, okay, oh, you're right.
No, that makes sense. 10,000 years is a long time.
10,000 years, it could be. And it eventually leads to Final Fantasy 1 after the next apocalypse, you know.
It's all one universe.
They could make it one universe. If they just kept making, they just like, all right, every 10,000 years there's an apocalypse, and then it resets humanity. They find a way
to explain why the magic systems and all that stuff changed? And maybe.
Maybe. I watched this 40-minute video today, so this is the reason this is all fresh in my mind. It's the timeline. It's like, this guy knows a lot about Final Fantasy X. He does like a lot of other things too, but when I was doing my 100% playthrough, this is the guy's videos I watched. And like one of the few things that like you just forget, like you're like, there's no time travel in Final Fantasy X. You're like, what do you mean? He gets traveled 1,000 years. Like, no, he's in Dreams Anarchy that has a physical location near Baj Temple.
He just falls out of it. He's like, what the hell?
But Seymour, you asked about Seymour. He doesn't know about Dreams Anarchy.
Yeah, what's his goal though? He's trying to become like all powerful, but how?
So, and as a child, he's not. Right? As a child, he's just a kid. So his basic timeline is his dad married a human woman. Guado married a human woman.
Guado is like a race, right?
Yeah, that's what Seymour is. He's a half Guado, I guess.
Is that the race of the...
Guado Salam. Yeah, that's where the far plane is.
Aren't they the race of the... What's the other city? Not Xanarkin? The evil one? The other evil one?
No, it's Bavel.
Bavel, is that the...
Those are just humans.
Okay, they're just humans too.
The Guado actually apparently have an alternate history that they have written down that has some insight. But, like, it's not like alternate, but it's like...
Different?
It's like more insight because they have the far plane and stuff. Like they just have a different. I don't know. I don't remember exactly about the history of the Guado, but so the leader of the Guado marries a human woman, which is not cool. He's trying to, I think he probably loves her, but he also is trying really hard to let there not be a war between these two races because they don't like each other. And so no one really likes Seymour because he's half human, half Guado, and so his mom, basically, so he's like, he sends them away, basically. He banishes them, basically. Not in so many words, but he basically does. And then Seymour's mom is like, the only way that the Guado and the human are ever going to accept you and accept us as, being legitimate is you have to defeat Sin. So she trained him basically to be a summoner, and she was going to become his final Aeon. So they went to Xanarkin when he was just a boy. And talked to Unalesca, and Unalesca basically is like, yeah, I'll make you a final Aeon, that way this little boy can defeat Sin, sure. And then he basically refused. He's like, I'm not going to kill my mom for that. But I don't remember, then it's kind of like weird, then is the Seymour or the Guado guy's like, all right, come back home. And then eventually his mom does become a Faith for an Aeon, and he goes and Seymour does get it, and that's Anima, which is his summon. That's like his mom's Aeon. And then, so he becomes like a summoner, but he like really resents his dad, basically. Okay. Because he feels like it kind of made him kill his mom. And then he was like, his mom's goal for him was to defeat Sin. That way everyone would accept him. And they don't really explain why he's evil, but his dad's kind of a prick too.
Did you ever meet his dad? Is he the...
Yeah, you see him one time, not Maester Micah. You see him one time, and then you see him in a sphere after he dies.
Okay.
And then I think Seymour, I don't remember why Seymour kills him, but basically Seymour then learns about Sin and stuff. Not learns about it, but he he decides that he wants to become Sin. And why? And it's just like he kind of goes crazy. Basically, he doesn't have like good super reasoning. He doesn't know about Dreams Anarchin, but he wants to become Sin because he dies, becomes unsent, and that's when he really goes crazy. Obviously,
when does he die?
He dies when you kill him the first time after Yuna gets Shiva and you're in the thing. They're like, oh, they're gonna get married, and you go get Yuna. You fight him, and he summons Anima. Then you fight him, beat him up, and he dies right there. And you think he's dead, but then he becomes an unsent because they take his body away. And so Seymour becomes an unsent.
Okay.
There's a lot of unsent in the higher up of Yevon because they're all basically unsent, and they're just trying to manipulate the masses. Really, they kind of know Yevon is like bullshit. But
I'm assuming the unsent don't die. They don't all die of old age, right?
No, they don't die at all of old age.
The summoners...
They don't even have to age, but like in Auron's case, for example, like he chose to present himself as if he was aging because he looks much older.
It's really interesting. So it seems like his character is mostly like
he just had like a.
Understand why he went crazy at least.
He had
because he went crazy.
He had a super tragic childhood, and then I think he had some resentment for his father, and then he wanted to become Sin that way he could.
So why do you kill him? Because he wants to marry Yuna. Why does he want to marry Yuna? That's why you fight him, right? What's his goal?
You don't fight him because he wants to marry Yuna. You fight him because he find out he killed his father.
Okay.
And then Yuna went there to stop him, basically, and she pretended like she was gonna marry him. And so, but then then he's like, "Oh, all right, I guess I will. If you're not gonna have my hand in marriage, I guess I'll just kill you all or whatever." So he's obviously like a crazy person at this point.
Oh man, that's so weird.
But yeah, then when he becomes incensed, when he goes crazy, and he's like, "I could live forever now that I've died," and so I want to become Sin and kill.
I like the idea of I die. That's a good way.
If I kill everyone, yeah, he just basically he goes off the deep end and wants to kill everybody. And becomes Sin. And then if he became Sin, that'd be weird, because then he would know about Dreams Anarchin. But he doesn't. I don't think he ever learns about that. Most people don't. That's a pretty well-kept secret.
So the only reason anything different happens because Jet became the final Aeon, and he knows about... Then once he became Sin, he knew about Dreams Anarchin or something like that?
He did learn... Well, I mean, he was from Dreams Anarchin, but he probably didn't know... He probably still thought he traveled through time.
That's what I'm saying. So when he becomes Sin, he realized what was actually going on, and he's like, oh...
Because Sin has to know about Dreams Anarchin. Yeah. One, because Yevon does, and two, because Sin is the gatekeeper. So he just kind of gets... You get that knowledge when she becomes Sin, basically. How you get it, I don't know. Maybe Yevon teaches you, shows you, or something. There's something that happens that Sin always has that, because he's the gatekeeper, so he has to be able to protect it. The only reason something different happened, is basically because Jecht is originally from Xanarkand, and so he went there to get Titus, and they found out that how did they find out that Yevon was inside Sin's armor? I know, but they literally flew a ship inside. Instead of just defeating Sin, they flew inside of it, and they went directly to fight Yevon. And that's when you fight Yevon, he mind controls all of your Aeons. Right? You have to fight each one of the Aeons you bring. Because that's what he does. He possesses Aeons.
Like blast a hole inside him or something?
I think...
I forget how, because you do fight Sin, but you don't kill him. You don't use the final Aeon, that's right. You fly him, and then you have to fight all the Aeons.
Yeah, you get on him, and then I think you might just go directly into his mouth. You might blow a hole in the side of him and go in there, but you actually do because Sin is basically a giant biological armor for this thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some airships and some Machina that they use some beams on and weaken them. And
did you have a super advanced airship from the I forget what they're called.
The Albed. Yeah, the Albed. They have them.
Like a Ragnarok or some shit like that.
So yeah, they go in, they fight Yevon directly because no one else knows Yevon exists. I don't remember how they find out Yevon exists. I think when they fight Unalesca, they kind of say that. I think Unalesca's like, no, yeah.
Because they decided to kill her instead of making a final Aeon, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, she was like, no, not doing this.
Well, they were like, she's like, Sin will never stop, no matter what. It'll always come back. And they're like, what? We're told Sin will die one day, and he won't come back. He's like, no, that's not going to happen. Sin will always come back.
Not doing it that way.
And it's like, oh, humanity can't, because they think it's for their sins. It's like, yeah, but humanity continues to sin, so Sin can't go away. But that's not even what it's for. It's literally there to protect Xanarkand.
Yeah. So Unalesca, she was the one that ran away when
Well, she left. Yeah, her and her husband.
Who's her husband?
Her husband is Lord Zion.
Was he part of the story at all?
A little bit. He's the first guardian. He's why the summoners have guardians. Basically. Okay. So it's because the religion took that and as like religious dogma that you have to have the summoners have to have guardians.
Okay.
And I don't think he's beyond in the story beyond that. He's her husband.
And for some reason she's like now the guy that she just stays there and gives people final aeons for some reason. Like why is she important for that?
That's
where everyone gets their final aeon.
Yeah. She did it the first time. I think she turned her because she's the second most powerful summoner of all time because Yevon was the strongest, and that's his daughter. She turned her guardian into an Aeon, and so she is somehow I'm not sure how she has the knowledge, but she could turn things into Aeons. And she's clearly
maybe she's like undying.
She's like an unsent. I'm pretty sure at this point.
Yeah, she had the knowledge, so she stayed behind.
So yeah, so the thing it's two things. Her goal is to give people a spirit of hope, so they're not just like living miserable lives all the time.
She knows that sin exists for Zanarkand, right?
Yes. She wants to. She has two goals.
She also probably wants to protect Zanarkand.
She has two goals. She has give people a spirit of hope, so they don't all hate their lives, so they think that there's always a chance that tomorrow there will be and they can just continue to exist because she does care about people, but also to protect Zanarkand because that's like.
Yeah, so she doesn't want to kill yet.
She doesn't want sin to stop coming back.
That's what they find out about is Unaleska tells him, and for some reason she lets it slip.
No, she kind of, yeah. Where do they find out about Yevon exactly? I don't even know if she thinks it's a secret. Like I don't know. I don't know if they find out about it from Yevon, but I think so.
Because you're the first people to kill her, right? Like you send her back. Does her little.
Yeah, no, you're only one to ever. Well, second to attempt it. Aaron tried once and he died. Because everyone gets there and they're like, all right, this is the way to defeat sin. Even though they find out that sin will always come back. They're like, this is still what we did all this for. It's to give someone the calm. And the calm is not very long. But, I guess if you're in a world where Godzilla kills people all the time, you're like, hey, we can have no Godzilla for 10 years or like 5 years. You're like, that's pretty fucking nice. I'd gladly kill that person and not have Godzilla around for 5 years. Was I downloading Final Fantasy VIII? Final Fantasy VIII does not have nearly as deep of a world as Final. I think 10 has got one of the most deep actual worlds of.
Yeah, 7's got a pretty good world too. Well, maybe not the world.
Same fucking world.
Duh.
It's just more interesting because there's more story. Yeah. 7's really good. It's got I think 10's got the best world building out of all the Final Fantasies. It just really felt like they sat down and we're writing a book and they're like, we're gonna make this a game. Ooh, let me click this. We're gonna raid someone in a second here. Let's just check where my save's at. Goodbye, Final Fantasy IX. It was fun playing you. I did have fun. I actually had a really good time playing it. Doesn't make it a particularly great Final Fantasy. Everyone knows it could be one of my least favorite Final Fantasies and still be a good game.
Just wait till you play one. Man, wait.
I've played.
If you can actually beat one without a guide, I will beat.
Shit, I'm gonna have to try.
And you can totally do it. It'll take you very, very long.
Just because there's no direction at all. I can't. I'm so excited for the fucking Gunblade cast in 14 though. I really hope it's a tank. That's what it's currently speculated as. Why is this not working? No.
Battle system designer, get a job.
Shit game.
Get fired.
I actually like the battle system a lot. It's
underdeveloped.
It's easy. Like they give you so much crazy freedom in the game to do all this shit. You can make every little percent change increase in this stat and that stat and this resistance, that resistance, and you can have this many spells with this kind of. But it's like all completely unnecessary because the game's easy. I actually can't get the game to start, so we'll close it. Right click. Let's go settings. Oh, that's right. I was even doing. Oh my god, I left this on overnight just so I could play Chocobo World before. Yeah, you see it, right?
That's awesome.
You get
8 health.
You get unique cards and shit from playing this. Is my mouse working? It's working. Hey, maybe it's this. No, let's unplug that. Oh, actually, this might be the one game where I need to have my thing plugged in ahead of time. There was a way to do this. I don't remember. You know what? Whatever. Fuck you, game. Back. I don't want this full screen, do I? Yeah, it's fine. There was one game I played where it did not. The controller did not work unless I had it on before I booted up the game.
For me, at least, my computer has most games.
Final Fantasy IX was nice because I didn't have to worry about that.
Have you played Legend of Dragoon on stream yet?
On stream, no. I don't think there's a PC version of it available. But I do have it right there on for PlayStation 1. I really, really like Legend of Dragoon. I think that's one of the all-time greats. It makes it better than Ni no Kuni 2, you're right.
I'm excited for you to play.
Exit the game, press this.
I think you're gonna like 6 a lot. I actually think you beat 6 pretty recently.
I have not. I've never beaten 6. I've gotten close though. What is going on with the? I understand. I don't know why I can't get at the start right now. I do remember having some issues at first. We're gonna get rid of the full screen, see if that helps, because a lot of times full screen will fuck up my shit. Full screen, no. This is best Final Fantasy so far. I don't even know if I need to click it. Oh, fuck. This ended up being a longer stream than a shorter one because I just talked about Final Fantasy X. What's going on? Why can't...
Those chips are awful.
Oh, you only finished the bag, though.
They were Chipotle Ranch, and they were just like the same flavor as normal ones, except it's a little less spicy.
Are we going? Oh, I can't use the D-pad. That's kind of weird. Oh, and it's A to enter. I've been hitting B for so long.
This game's backwards.
Look at level 14. 33 hours. That's pretty...
14 hours. That's actually kind of crazy.
There is an achievement to beat the game with Squall at level 7.
That actually sounds like a fun achievement.
So there's 2 ways to play. There's multiple ways to play the game, but there is a... the game has a legitimate path through the game to gain no levels in the entire game.
That's actually really cool.
But it makes the game easier. And everything in this game scales with you.
Oh, man.
So the higher level you are...
Then what's the advantage of not leveling up? I mean,
there's no... Well,
disadvantage.
here's the thing. There's only disadvantages from leveling up. Which is weird, right?
It's funny they made an achievement that just like bring like, hey, like...
It's almost like they're bringing attention to it.
The
bosses grant 0 experience in this game.
Really?
Yeah, all the bosses... They also grant 0 experience in 9, but for no real reason. But in 8, they grant no experience, and so... The only way to not get experience and to complete fights, actually, there are some unavoidable fights in the game, but there's just enough where Squall will never gain a level. They're the ones he has to be in. But also, if you get into a fight and you turn enemies into cards, you don't get any experience. You'll just get the money and stuff. Oh my god, you don't even know. Look at this. Ability? Like, if we look at all this, like, refined items from cards, look at all the cards I have.
Why so many?
Because this is how you get everything in the game. Mega Stones, 100 Dino Bones, M Stone pieces, and... So
you can refine the cards.
I have the Cypher card, I have the Adia card.
You get 3 what the hell is going on? That's gotta be like high-level stuff,
Oh,
right?
it's incredible. I've had this since, like, early game. This is pretty... Like, this is disc 3 now, so I'm pretty late into the game. 10 Flare Stones, Meteor Stones, rename card. Let's go back.
This rename card, you can rename your character.
Yeah, there's a lot of dumb things, but yeah, I got a lot of the GFs. Not all of them, obviously. I got really far. I don't know why it stopped.
You're level 14. Have you just been purposely not fighting?
I just... No,
So the bosses
I get
also
cards.
scale with your level?
Everything in the game scales with your level, yeah. I think the super boss does not. I think the final super boss, even if he does, he has an attack that guarantees... It's actually an interesting boss. He has an attack that guarantees do 9,998 damage. So the only way to survive it in the game is there's no auto life and there's no break HP limit. You have to have. I don't know why that was muted. But magic is like it's thinking of magic as magic is actually improper in this game. It's literally a consumable item or it's just equipment. You equip it on like this is your armor, your swords. Is this the magic? And you can gather it.
So what's
but then
you can make weapons. What does that give you? Actual stats
they're real pointless. They're not pointless, but
compared to this system.
let's see how do I do it? I think I have to go out of junction. I have to go to stats. These are his overdrives. It's just for every type of ammo. You go in. Also, the pulse ammo is like fucking broken. It's like so powerful. Also, fast ammo is really good. He hits for so much. He's currently has a Bismarck equipped. You have a twin lance, and so for like Squall, each one you get gives you a new thing. The thing is, the overdrives in this game are fucking broken, powerful.
Aren't they really easy to activate?
They're real. As soon as you hit a yellow health bar, you can just hit Y, because each time it's your turn, you have a % chance to trigger it, and you can just mash it by passing your turn, and it doesn't get rid of your ATB gauge. So you could use it every single turn forever, basically. But then he has a random chance to activate these, and each time you get a new weapon, you get that, basically. I'm trying to see if they're...
They did a lot of weird stuff with this game.
You know, yeah, look at all my cards, man. Like, every character...
Did you actually play the card game, or just use the
Oh
cards
my god, I've played... You can't turn these guys into cards. You can't turn most of these things into cards. Like, I have 6 jumbo captor.
But you can get rid of them for Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but I do. I guess because I have one. If I have one of something, it means I've put it all the way down to one. Because I've probably had more than that of most of these. I was gonna try to get
like obviously overpowered broken deck that just wins all the time.
I mean, you just have cards that are numerically better.
A is like automatic win, right?
A is the highest.
Yeah.
So I don't have any. Like I got rid of. There's only one Quistis card in the game, and I got rid of it, which I feel bad because you get like really good magic, but I didn't need it at all. I was already strong enough, but so I can't get another Quistis card. That one's gone forever. But once you obtain it, no, it's not. You have to. All these cards, like. You have access to Quistis pretty early, but the very first powerful card you can get is Minimog, because there's a guy running around the garden that has it. Then you use usually Minimog to help you get Quistis from one of her students. And I had to look up a guide.
Card with just 4 A's everywhere?
I don't think so. But also,
like when you play a card,
if you have 4 A's and you put it down, and like there's nothing around it, and someone puts something next to the A that's weaker, it doesn't do anything. It only attacks, basically, when you set the card down. Then once it's down, it's basically just defensive numbers.
Yeah, right? It's like if you put a 9, like that left 9 goes, if there's a card to its left with a 6, you'll beat that card, it flips to your side. Right?
Yes. But if, like, you had your card down first, and they put a 6 down facing that 9, nothing happens.
Yeah, you have to beat it. So the A's is automatic win. They can't convert.
Why can't I find out how the items work in this? Probably not. Oh, these are the ones I take into combat. I don't use them. But things like elixirs and heroes are really good. Make character invincible, right? Like you can make these from cards. I don't know how to get them, but yeah, like I have meteor stones, death stones.
Meteor's as strong as magic, right?
I think it is really strong. I think it hits like a bunch of times. Let me actually look, because Selfie will have anything that I have that I think is good enough to use. Haste, you usually cast haste on the whole party for a boss fight, like why not? It's really easy to get. I have hundreds of it. Because I can just make like 100. Thing is, so the draw system, people are like, oh, the draw system's so long and tedious and boring. You don't ever have to use it. There are sometimes I will. There are sometimes I'll use it, like you want to get an Aeon. There are times where you can just cast, instead of, you don't want to use your source and they have a magic you want to use, you can use it from them. There are sometimes you'll want to stock something, but for the most part, you can just refine all the magic you want.
You get a lot for each card or so?
So it depends. Different ones, different strength. But sometimes you know what, you can get like 20 quakes from like a really easy to get thing. There's all kinds of. If you go to the abilities, refine fire magic. I guess we'll take a look. Like I can get 100 fire guz from one Phoenix Pinion. That's the strongest one. 5 fires. So you get a bunch of these that could refine into all kinds of things. Fire Res, fire guz, and that's just fire magic. And then you come back here and you can get. I really like the system a lot. Death Stones give you 1 death, that gives you 1 holy. Cottage gives you 20 cure guz. 20 cure guz from a healing mail. So then, but you have to unlock all these abilities, but that's come every time you have the option, unlock this shit ASAP. 60 triples, that's Samantha Soul. This is what I got from the Quistis card, was 3 Samantha Souls. So you can make 180 triples right off the gate. Yeah. Rocket Engine, 50 triples from a Rocket Engine. Like but again, these are things that like I don't really need it, so I'm just keeping it in case, because you never know if you're gonna get a new ability to 20 quakes from Dino Bones, and I have a card that can make me 100 Dino Bones, right? So it's like
quakes like an endgame magic, right?
Yeah, it's very powerful. Thing is, most of it's not necessary, which is kind of like sad. But then you can get that kind, or you can even do like some you get like, oh, you can turn that shell stones into shell, but where are the cool ones? Recovering medicine. Now some of these aren't as useful, but you can turn like, oh, mega potions. You can get high potions. There is an infinite money glitch you can get very early.
Really?
That's not that hard. It's literally buying. I think you have to buy all the mega potions you can, and then you turn them into cottages, and then you sell the cottages, and then you buy mega potions, and then you turn them into cottages. I believe it might be the opposite. It might be you buy cottages. Yeah, I think you buy as many cottages as you can. You turn them into mega potions, and then you sell the mega potion for a profit.
Is there any like use for money?
Nah, not when you have that much. The money is not super useful. You could stack up on the basic healing items and stuff, like, you know, have a bunch. It's like nice, and I'm sure there's a few things that you could waste money on as well, but. Yeah.
This stuff is irrelevant, right? It has no use other than this refining process.
Most of the stuff is used for refining, and sometimes they'll be used in some weapons. Like Dragon Fanes.
So weapons aren't a stat increase. Weapons are just like you
They
can do ultimates.
No, they are a stat increase. But they're also it's only that new thing for Squall. Each one, I think each of them does something kind of different, but for the most part, they're not that relevant.
But you can beat the game with just level.
100%, yeah. I didn't even know you could upgrade weapons when I was a kid. 3 refined into a Phoenix Pinion, and the Phoenix Pinions we know upgrade into something really good. But like this is like Wizard Stones are great. Wizard Stones are just refined into any kind of magic you want almost. Like, you know, they'll for each thing they'll give you something. Yeah. This is the worst one, Recovery Medicine for GF. This is bad. Mid-level magic from other magic. This one's like really good. You get it early. It's like, oh, you have fires. He doesn't have any early level magic, but if you have someone with like fire, you could turn like 100 fires into 20 fire res or something, right? You could level up your magic. But I obviously am not using any of that weak shit anymore. Because it's just like, it's so irrelevant. Like, I have some characters have overflow. Like, Quistis has an X 100 arrow. Just because I have too many, and it's a pretty good stat increase item. But then refined item from cards, right? 5 screws, M-stone. Like, I don't even get screws anymore.
It's funny, because I'm pretty sure they probably wanted to use this system and actually have a hard game behind it, but it probably was too confusing, so they like, leave it in there.
They put, like, such an open, free system. These are important. Sharp spikes are important.
I don't even, like, honestly, like, I played this game, never even knew this, I didn't know this system existed, because I never touched this stuff. I never touched any of the card abilities, I never touched any of that stuff.
I have 11, I
just drew magic.
Chef knives, each chef knife could turn into like 20 or 30 deaths, and I have like, you know.
Is death good?
It's a very powerful stat increase, and that's basically what you use it for. You can also use it to give yourself immunity from death. Like, not dying, but from like an instant death effect. Hey, how you doing, Rad? Just setting up for dinner, so BRB. I'm about to end the stream, my homie G. I've been just about to end it for a long time now. Yeah, this is most of when I'm playing the game, man.
Gim 47N? What is this?
What'd you say?
Gim 47N? Fast ammo.
Fast ammo is really good.
Oh, these are cards. You're getting rid of cards.
I'm not getting rid of them. I'm just kind of looking to see what I got.
Sprinkler.
Some of these really high level ones actually give you total shit. Like Diamond Armor is good, Royal Crown's good, but it's like you can get these other ways. Cypher, right? I'm not gonna get rid of any of these. Any of these cards I can only get one of, there's no point. But like Sacred, 100 Dynabones is nuts. I don't even think you can hold 100. I think you can hold 99. I actually want to find out the weapon really quick. I might need to go to the item into the weapons journal. So this is like the starting weapon, and it tells you what you need to get it. And then you can go up here like, oh, this is probably the one he has right now.
You go to the store, you get the item.
The Flame Saber is
possible.
How do
you get the ultimate weapon in this game, then?
I think I don't know yet. And these are actually kind of cool. These teach Zidane new abilities. Sorry, not Zidane. They teach Zell new abilities. This actually gives you Angelo.
That's right, the dog.
They all have pictures of dogs. Invincible Moon just makes your whole party invincible. Riona is actually like super busted, but because one thing I do like about this game is because the junction system, you can anyone's as strong as you need them to be at any point. Like you don't care that because if you're like, oh, I don't want to use Irvine anymore. I want to use Zell. You just take the junction.
Level doesn't matter then?
Yeah, like level doesn't matter at all. Lower level is better. Like also like if you just want to do this, sorry, you just go down here to switch.
You're level 14. You're 35 hours to the game on the third disc. That's saying as well.
Yeah, I've been very actively avoiding. Like sometimes I've just done the fight, but like 99% of the time I'm like no. But Junction Exchange will take everything, boom, from Irvine and move it straight to Zell. Now Zell is 100%. There are some times it doesn't do it super well, and you kind of have to redo it, because like your character will leave your party for a moment, and it just unequips everything from him. And so then when a new character comes back, you still have to kind of go through and equip it. Yeah. But for the most part, like I was like, switch, it's really good. Squall's still the most powerful character. You can make the game harder on yourself by doing some self-limitations, and still trying to get the most out of the systems, but I was going to heal Selfie, but that's not good. Where are we going? Are we ready to go? Yes. I mean, I gotta be near the end of the game at this point.
I'm surprised you're able to get to these games so fast.
I don't remember what button is to go forward. Streaming helps.
Irvine summons him, and the team is probably the strongest you can get. Irvine.
X. I assume if I'm right here, it means I have to go here.
This is the problem, like starting.
Oh, also, like, one of the, yeah, I actually have no idea where I'm supposed to go, but one of the best things, like, this game, this is like, you go to the very first part of the game, right? You start, you're in the thing, and they're like, oh, you're going to the seat exam. You do that little seat exam where you fight the giant spider, and you come back, and the very first ability you get, like, an hour into the game, maybe a couple hours if you haven't done it, encounter rate. You can either make it half or none, whenever you want.
That's like a base game thing?
That's a base game thing. Like, Sid gives you a magic lamp, and you have to you have to fight, but the boss is incredibly easy, but it seems hard. But because he only does demi and auto attacks, demi can never kill you, and the auto attacks can hit you, but you just blind him, and he can never hit you. And so then you get it, and then you get Diablos, you get the GF Diablos, right here. And one of the first ability, yeah, you could just go straight for encounter rate half, and then encounter rate none.
So that's part of the.
Yeah, I don't need to use a bow. Yeah, like when they were making this game, they were like, hey, we want to make it possible.
I mean, like even the earlier ones, the newer ones don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Like 9, 10, 12. 13.
Like I have a boost for the Steam version of 9 that makes it so you can't get into fights, but it's not in the game.
Yeah, like 12 has the same thing, I'm pretty sure, but no, 12 I think you have to run away from it. But yeah, that's cool. They actually had that system.
They planned it from the very beginning to make it so you could do.
There's so many abilities in this game. Like, it's absurd.
We haven't even gotten the crazy ones. There's like a Tonberry or something summon, and you get the Tonberry summon. You have the ability to you get late game the ability just to call a shop down wherever you are. Like he has it active as like a shop. There's like a bunch of weird abilities.
That's awesome.
There's so much about this game I fucking love. Like the systems in it are my absolute favorite. I really like all the characters. I like the story.
Do you ever use the GFs in actual fights, like actually summoning them to make
They actually all do something different. I actually like that Carbuncle looks exactly like Carbuncle does in every game here.
Wait, because I thought you could use the GF for its summon ability, right? Or you can summon it and fight, and then you use its summon ability.
I don't think they actually tell you what they do anywhere. You just have to summon it and know. Like this is damage, damage, damage. I think this silences all enemies and does damage. This guy does earth damage. I mean, it's like fire damage, ice damage, wind damage. Carbuncle reflects. Darkness, Diablos basically does nothing because I think he does like gravity or whatever. It's some sort of thing that all bosses are immune to. And I honestly just don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
The one that's equipped, right?
Yeah, you get someone. Well, you have to have the command equipped. Like, let's just take a look because you have if you junction abilities, like these are what you have access to. He has magic, draw, item, extra health, and move find, which finds hidden save and draw points. You can also get magic bonus, which gives you extra magic every time you level up. We're not leveling up.
Relevant, right?
We're not gonna level up. Yeah. So I don't know if this is like I was.
You've actually been in very few fights probably in this game. You're probably just doing this. That's why it's so fast because you're just doing the story.
You do a lot of fights because there's mandatory ones, but bosses don't give you any experience. But like it's some of the fights take.
Cards, though, right?
Some of them are like that's come like if you look right now, Irvine doesn't have a strength enhancement. It's so he can attack something, so I could turn it into a card. Because you have to weaken it first.
I didn't even know this stuff existed. I love this game just for how weird. Like this is like like of all the systems in a game, this is the most like offshoot of Final Fantasy.
Like spend HP to attack. I think that lets me hit the damage cap or get close. Like Mad Rush is an ability you get early with thing. It just gives haste, berserk, and protect to all party members, and that's just an ability you can use for free. It's like really good. But you know you're kind of stuck into a thing.
Yeah.
He has strength bonus, which he doesn't even use, right?
+1 strength in every level. Yeah, like it doesn't matter what you get. Like +50.
Well, I don't know. Like there's a fucking reason I have that. I don't know why. But change attack to mug, so I get to steal some things sometimes.
So your attack just does mug.
She's not even. Yeah, she doesn't even have enough because like.
Why does she have 3 abilities and everyone else has 2?
It's got to be one of the GFs. It's probably. No one even is using Alexander right now. Well, let's put Alexander on. I don't know what he does. I should look to see.
The GF level doesn't matter, right? It's just.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't matter.
When they fight.
If we come down here to Alexander, you get him at a certain level. Yeah, refine high magic from low. So every time I get a new character, very first thing is all the refined shit I can manage. He has a revive command. I don't know what that does. Ability ×3. So I actually want to give this to a different character so they can have another ability. But none of my...
Because once they learn it, it's theirs forever.
Junction 4 magic to elemental defense is really good. But like, so let's come back here to like, cause this is this. So there's 3 things you can junction, right? Or 3 basic things, right? This is stats. You can increase your stats.
Why can't you increase speed, evasion?
You can only increase what your GF will let you junction.
Okay.
So I have junctions for all these on this character. And so in the
what's,
early game, you can't
vitality's
junction.
health, right?
Right? No, HP is health.
Vitality
Vitality is basically physical defense.
physical defense, magic is spirits.
Magic defense, yeah.
And then speed, evasion. Hits,
Speed,
and luck,
as you can see, is 17. I really want someone to be able to get speed.
Yeah, so they can attack more often.
I actually think someone does that. I think
system,
it is. I don't know how relevant speed actually is, though. But like, he has 72 speed because he has a junction, but he doesn't have a spirit. He takes a ton of magic damage.
Yeah, he has 8 damage.
And this guy,
Is that just crit chance or something?
luck actually has. It's weird in this game, but I don't remember exactly why. I don't remember why, but there's like something you need. Hi, is this 8? Yes, I know it says 9 down below, but I beat 9, and I downloaded this. I wanted to see how far I was. So you could do a few things, like these. So these are where you put magic to get stats, and once you get things, this is elemental attack. So when I attack, I do 40% of the attack damage I deal is dealt as holy damage. So the first 60% is normal physical damage, and then 40% is holy. And this gives me 49% resistance to all. Sorry, these two together are giving me 49% resistance to all elements. Like poison. I will say I really don't like that the symbols are these. I wish they just said what they were.
Yeah, fire.
I know fire, ice, lightning,
okay.
earth. Then it's poison, wind, and then I think it's darkness and light. It doesn't look like darkness. It looks like water again, right? It might be water.
It should be a moon or something.
And then this is the status ailments ones. So then you have it so you can make like
you do it
this is the really good one. This is the one that's awesome actually.
Do GFs learn new junction spots or something?
They
Or they have a set amount?
you can. I actually don't have anything. I might have it only on Irvine then. Let's go to Irvine. The menuing can be kind of hard to get down because it's been a while.
You spend a lot of time.
I did. So like I can make it so I guarantee whenever I attack something it becomes berserk. And you could even use that to attack your own allies and to give them berserk. Or you could use it to attack enemies.
That's pretty dang cool.
25%.
That's the cool stuff right there. Actually,
Like look at 100% chance to guarantee that you drain all the damage you deal.
Oh man.
100.
So with drain, 100% chance.
But you can just do 100% chance death. And whenever he auto attacks anything, it guarantees dies unless it's immune to it. But you don't want. That's like a super counterproductive for what you're trying to do because you're only trying to kill bosses, and so this is exactly what you don't want. And so most of these, and then also you can do the same thing here, right? They 100% immunity to drain, berserk, this.
That's awesome.
And like Asuna gives like 10% to all. A lot of the spells have like different, like 100% death is something that I should probably just have, but it might be a good stat increase and it might not be needed. Like death gives you more vitality than haste does. It gives you, like that might, but shell is, when you get shell and protect, like protect is really good in vitality, and each magic doesn't have like a set number of increase, which is also a weird thing. Like so 100 fire might give you, it'll give you different bonuses based on the stat. It has to have a synergistic stat in the games, whatever. Like fire might give you like +5 magic, but it might give you +10 strength for having in that slot. So each spell has its own preferences. So protect gives you like some strength, but it gives you a lot of vitality. It gives you almost no magic, but shell gives you a lot of spirit. Still think death is probably pretty good here. I honestly, I still even think better is probably just immunity to death. I don't know.
How often do you encounter
Only takes once. 80. And then I don't even remember how to take it off. You just hit X, okay?
So when you start playing Final Fantasy VI, there's actually there's like I think 2 dead stats in that game. You can actually get items for. Yeah, there's like stamina and I think it's vitality, and they're both like they're just useless stats. Like one of them they just didn't even program anything. Like they have items that increase it, but it actually has no effect on gameplay. Like one's supposed to be like status ailments, which you never fight against status ailments. The other one's just completely irrelevant.
Why do I have haste?
Same thing with Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger has a completely dead stat as well, which I always thought was funny. They made it in the game, but they never had enough.
I think Final Fantasy 1, it's like luck doesn't do anything. It's like a thief's primary stat doesn't do anything. It's either dexterity or luck. Did you read the manual? I did not. It's pretty neat and very complicated, it seems. I like it. This game is super complex in a lot of ways, but it's not that bad once you get into it. But you need to be, like, it's hard to get back into it. All right, let's see what's in here. The main reason I even went to the menu again.
Oh, this is the orphanage.
Yep.
And they immediately learn about their past. They're all...
Yeah, but I'm like way past that. Like that happens at the beginning of disc 2, I think. No, maybe it actually happens right here.
know, she tells him like she was your foster mother or whatever.
I think I came out here because I was playing her in cards. Like, because I was like, I have to save. She has like a unique card.
She's just like, yeah, I'll fight you. Sure, go ahead.
Oh, see, I think, yeah, because they're, believe it or not, there's a complicated system here. The world, potentially the world's most complicated system is the card games, the way it generates rules.
Nightbot just yelled cards.
Yeah, Rajisk, I put a command when I was playing this game, just type in cards, Nightbot will yell cards. Why is your caster off screen? What the fuck? He's over there. But in order to change the rules, like, people will be like, hey, do you want to play with some of my rules and your rules? And you're just like, yeah, whatever, I want to play cards. Once you've done that, you fucked up, man. Because it changes the rules like, so Squall has a set of rules in his brain that he takes with him to different continents. Each continent has their own set of rules. And if you get them too mixed up, then it's really hard. You have to find a way to reset them. And the way to passively or manually set rules, you have to go to the card queen, get her to challenge you a certain amount of times to get a certain rule set stuck inside Squall's head so that you can go, and you have to like do a manual like hard reset of the game to get a like this character to like challenge you, and then
like the rules change what cards you get or something.
This one means random. So what you want is vision, trade rule all, and that's it basically. Random means I don't get to choose my cards. Same/plus means if the cards on the top and bottom are the same, or these two things can add up to the same number, it counts as a flip, which is way harder to account for than, especially when you don't know what they're playing because you don't have vision. And trade rule 1 means if I do win, I get one fucking card.
And they get one of yours and you lose.
So the best thing to do is and you're playing Final Fantasy VIII and you care about the card game, which you will because it gives you all the broken stuff. If someone's like, would you like to play with some of your rules and my rules? Say no, and then challenge them again about 24 times, and eventually they will not ask you, and then you could just play them.
Your Squall's rules.
Yes. So I think
change between each continent.
Yeah.
Like,
so you have to every time you fight someone that asks you to do it, just say no. There might be a way that it still gets fucked up, where you still learn some rules that you don't want.
Brad just explains it pretty nicely.
Yeah. What in the fuck?
It's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous system. That's like an old school does art right hug. That card, that's pretty strong.
It's really, guess what? They have random, but they only have 6 cards. Guess what? This isn't a good card. This card game. We're just gonna put something here. Like when I'm out of practice for this shitty card game. 8/8. I mean, I can take them both. Yeah.
Ding. Plus. Oh, so it for some reason fights that card.
Yeah, it got the combo thing is also weird. Like if you take something that took something, it'll take the thing that it took. But 6, 7, 8.
So I'm assuming you have like a set of really powerful cards you can't choose.
Plus.
Okay.
I have.
How did your 3 beat his 8?
Because 5 plus 6 is equal to 8 plus 3. That's the plus rule. Because there's a 5 to the left and a 3 to the. There's not normally. This is an added rule for me fucking it up.
It's a complicated rule that doesn't make sense to me.
And
what numbers is it adding? I don't understand.
It's because like right here, I put this down here, and so 5. So the 3 does not beat the 8, but 8 and 3 is 11. And I put it next to this, and 5 and 6 is 11. So,
so it's those 2 cards.
So the fact that this 5 and 6 add up to what this 3 and 8 makes it that. The tri-point means I don't have this card. It's a dumb rule, and I hate it. I did not want it, but it's what I got. Like I think a good move here is unless he can, if he can combo this, then he takes this, and I instantly lose, which is why this card game is such bullshit because I couldn't know. And now I get to take 1 card. The only one, and also it tells you blue means I don't have this card yet. I mean, most of these are good. Like I really want this card, but
what is a lightning bolt? Oh, this is elemental.
Yeah, there's also elemental rules that can get added. You don't want them. You don't want any rules. Like when the game starts, you can get the trade rules set to all. So the card queen. Okay, this is the part that's easy and makes sense.
Who is that?
She's a lady that walks around and does things. She's part of a big side card quest that you can do that I started to do. I don't know if I finished.
What is it? What do you get out of doing that?
You get super cards, which gives you super items, which you don't need to do for anything, but it's kind of fun. So basically, the card queen, if you challenge her over and over again, she changes the trade rule automatically, and so the only way to change the trade rule is to challenge her. Otherwise, it always resets back to 1 eventually, so you have to go challenge her again.
Is there a reason if you keep on talking to them, they'll just be like, no, we'll just do it your... Is there a reason for
They're
that?
just... I think it's the game's way of you knowing that the game's like, oh, he knows that he can challenge. It just... Yeah, wait. I'm going to go out and save, because I don't win that card game much. Yeah, I'm playing Final Fantasy and I saved.
I guess you're beating this one next. Jesus.
I might. So here's the issue. If I go to beat this one...
You went from 5,000 gold to 300,000 on your saves.
Yeah, I don't have any point of the money. The only issue is if I beat this one next, I don't know if I will actually do 100% like I want to. Because I really want to play 5, because I've never played it. Alright, so are we going to have to talk to you? I'll be staying here with Sid for a while. Should Ultimisia possess me again, I ask for your help, young seeds. Alright, what about Sid? Which is literally, he looks just like fucking Robin Williams.
That's right, yeah.
All over the world in a ship. Even if Ultimisia decides to choose her again, it'll be very difficult to find her. Okay, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. He looks like Robin Williams.
Everyone challenged you to a card game?
You could challenge anyone to a card game. You could challenge Sid too, but I already got all of his cards. You leave me no choice. Like I was looking up a guide for the card game side quest because you have to beat certain people at certain spots, and man, believe it or not, there's a complicated mechanic where there are, in order to get all the cards in the game, you have to lose some card games on purpose. You have to have some cards like Ifrit or whatever, and you have to lose the card Ifrit to the queen. She will then take that card and take it to someone who will change that card into a unique card that there's only one of. Then you have to beat them and take that card from that person.
There's so much work behind this card game.
I don't like the card game is fun, but fucking I hate the system of rules behind it.
It's such a complicated system. Like they must have a team. Like you're in charge of the card game. Make it as complicated as a story.
Yeah,
and like you were level 9 to level 14, and you just went from 5,000 gold to 300.
Yeah, I know the infinite money glitch. It's not a glitch. I know the infinite money. I did it many times.
It's an exploit, alright? Not intended.
Okay, I'm not gonna save, but I am gonna get into a fight. And I've been in this menu so fucking much.
That seems like it's where you spend most of your time doing this shit.
Let's see how much damage I do with a hit. I have no... Like... It doesn't take that far to go along, but... It's like, I'm so lost right now, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I would be... Like, walking into that's gonna be... Oh, cool. Bugs.
I don't know that. I don't know what that thing is. What? Oh, it's actually really good, because if she's low, you can just keep hitting do over. Even though time doesn't stop for this, you can always find, like, oh, cure, full cure, cast it. Everyone goes with the full life, which isn't always good, because you don't get to use your things, but...
There's stupid magic. Stupid magic.
So like that's a very powerful overdrive. Okay, so I'm not even near the damage cap.
What about him? What's his ammo do? Is that part of his overdrive?
That's part of his overdrive, yeah.
What's faster?
It just twice as fast as the normal ammo.
What is that?
Like you start shooting your gun as fast as you can, and there's like a cooldown, and normal ammo is like boom, 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 but fast ammo is like boom, boom, boom,
What's
boom.
the hyperdrive ammo or whatever it's called?
It just like shoots pulse cannon beams, like it shoots really fast and it hits for a damage cap.
Is the battle you do this or something, or is this like?
No, it's like a one-time attack, but again, if he's at low life, you can bang, make it come back up really quick. Do Quake.
See the dark side.
I already did it. That was the attack.
That's a terrible.
I like it.
Oh my god.
Ultima. Rather not.
It's not even a magic.
I should have meteors. I don't know if I actually do. Yeah, that's like one. I don't think, like, if I can make one, I'm like, that's just a waste of an inventory slot. I'd rather, once I can get 100, or like at least 60 or something, I'll do that.
That was a lot of damage for someone who has one.
Yeah. That was Ultima, though. That's the most powerful magic. Look at it. No! The game just got harder. We're not playing right now. I am gonna end the stream.
I did. Okay, so I noticed on here somewhere he has a right there. Find out no Saphir Grid.
Yep.
Is that hard?
Yes.
Did you have no spells? I'm assuming.
He beat the game with no Sphere Grid. Like the straight up game. Dark Anima is really hard. Like I was fully built, ready to do the final fights of the game, and Dark Anima was a fucking bitch. That fight was tough. It took like 25 minutes. It's like a 2-hour fight or something, right? Where do you see it?
Top left.
Oh yeah.
An hour and 30 minutes of just this one fight.
Yeah, so he this is one of his earlier videos. It literally it took him years to do this fight because the only way to do it is to grind. You have a way to grind to get, without using the sphere grid, you can grind your summons to be super strong. And he goes into exactly what he does. And he gets all this super stuff, which is really hard to get with no sphere grids.
High level.
His characters aren't a high level. His summons are. Because there's no levels in the game. It's only the sphere grid. You can use items to consume them to level up their stats. And so you had 255 as the cap, so in order to survive against this, you had to grind this. And then he did. I think he used an emulator for part of it.
That's right. You summon.
Yeah. Yeah, these are his characters. No sphere grid, right? These are their base stats. I know they can't see. Put it on the screen. All right. This is the guy that when I was talking about Final Fantasy X earlier. This is the same guy. And all of his characters died, right? After Oblivion, the dream scenarios where Riku can use. So they're gonna die, but he has the auto life ability. On like, you have to use like, I think this is. I'm telling you, if you watch me fight the final boss, it's math. It is mathematic perfection. The super boss requires you to have like max stats and almost all these specific things. Otherwise, you just can't beat him. And then you have to go in with a very, very specific strategy, or you have no fucking chance.
Well, he's got max with the GF, so his GF strategy like level relatively.
Yeah, they're like max stats, max HP and stuff. This is a really tough fight. There is Dark Anima is one of the super bosses of the game. In order to fight the ultimate super boss, so the old super boss when the original Final Fantasy X release was in the monster arena. I think it was like something like Omega Weapon. I don't remember what it was called. It might have just been called like, it wasn't Omega, but it was like Ultimate Weapon or something. It was like this ultimate creation. Then in the new release version where they added the Expert Sphere Grid, it's like kind of like a remake, HD remake. They added Dark Aeons, which are each of them are as hard or harder than the OG like super boss. And then after you defeat all the Dark Aeons, you can fight the game's new final super boss. So that there's like 10 to 20 super bosses. They're all really hard.
Now the real question is stuff.
No, this.
No.
Because this is like added after the fact.
Is the final boss you fight in that giant field, right? You beat him there or something? Or the super omega boss?
The final boss is in the story, but it's just like, hey, this guy creates monsters after you capture monsters. So you had to capture and kill every monster in the game with a specific weapon 10 times. Every creature in the game. It took a long time. I did it. I had a, one second, look at, I'll show you FF10 capture list. Capture tracker in almost every area. Might have even been this. Yeah, this guy's like, I made a quick website. Yeah, I use this. I'd come here. I'd click this. I'm like, alright, in the first zone, oh, these are even saved. And then you're like, oh, here's the reward you get. Like, alright, so let's go back. Nice back row.
What if you miscalculate?
I did miscalculate lots of times. I go back there and he's like, oh, I didn't get this? I'm like, alright, I missed something. So I have to go back and like kill one of each or one does. Like, oh, I know I got 10 of these because you could see how many you have of each creature. So I could then look like, oh, I missed 2 bombs. It's only at 8, so then I have to go back. And then so each of the Omega Dungeon is the one that's really tough because, so the thing is, all these early ones aren't that hard. Because these enemies have enough HP. Like, you're at this point when you're doing this, you're at the damage cap, you're at 99,999 usually, or something like that. But these weapons don't have, you have to use a taming weapon, which does not have break damage on it. So the max damage you can do with these weapons is 9,999. And all these enemies in the game have under that, until you get to, like, inside Sin Omega Ruins. Then these guys have more than that, and sometimes sometimes they have significantly more, yeah. And you actually have to go inside Sin and then leave in order to finish it, which is the final area. Omega Dungeons is an optional area, but there's like an enemy here that's
These like mini bosses. They're not hard.
This guy really right here, he counters with like petrify. So you have to have like certain techniques for some of these. Most of them are easy, and you're trying to grind through them really quick. But some of these do require. This for some of them I couldn't because sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't. It depends. Some of them are really hard, and you actually have to have a strategy. But yeah, you can see this guy is doing it. Dark anima. It's just like a mathematical circle of like. Then he gets this, and he gets this, and he'll be able to. Oh, look at he's gonna hit for a lot right here, isn't he? He might hit for either a fuck ton or Waka's the strongest character in the game. Yeah. No, not even close. Waka's the only. That's weak. That's missing a digit. Here, let's go to my YouTube channel.
So he spent 2 years prepping for this fight, just by like consuming items.
Just like grinding, right, for the fight. Let's go to my YouTube video and show you just kind of like how much damage Waka does and why he's the most powerful character and why you can't not have him. It's not optional.
Characters? Riku, him, and
Riku, Titus, and him. I think Titus is the strongest? Titus I think is flexible.
Oh, okay.
But he does have pretty damn good overdrives. It's basically like they're overdrives because all the character stats become identical.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's who has the best overdrive. I don't know how far back I have to go. Here's when I was playing Final Fantasy VIII. I did a few parts of that also. I will show you on screen. I'm just going through all my personal stuff, so I'm blocking it right now. When I played Chrono Trigger, I looked at my Chrono Trigger playtime to 100% it. It's like
30 hours.
No, it was like 15 hours.
Yeah, you race these games really fast.
Like if I look at let me look right here. Chrono Trigger, 23 hours. Like wow, Final Fantasy IX is almost that long too. And I take my time. I really do. Here we go. I finally
Does Chrono Trigger on the PC have like a speed version or something? Chrono Trigger actually has very little grinding. I actually don't think there's any grinding you have to do except for one spot if you want to get the
view on YouTube.
Equipment at the time.
View on YouTube, please. Okay. View on YouTube.
Final Fantasy
Alright, let's find out here.
10 is the game. However, I don't have that tab open.
Oh, this is my old setup. I like how much my setup feels so much nicer now.
There we go.
You can go in there. It's fine. You can hear her playing Stardew Valley.
76.
Oh shit! Is this not the Omega fight?
78.
Oh shit! This may not be me fighting Penance.
80.
This one's not me fighting Penance. This is me just going through the game normally.
Or at least they had two of the best performances in this game.
Let me find where I did fight Penance though.
Fucking dope. And Waka, of course, is Bender, so we all love him.
Give me 1 second, homies. We are still gonna end the stream. Don't worry, I'm going to. I just keep getting distracted. Plus, I'm having a good time, so it's not like I'm in a hurry to end it. God, did I not save the Penance fight? It's very possible that I just didn't, or that I deleted it. And I only kept that one video, which is not that big of a deal, but also it is kind of lame, right? Yeah, I don't have the fight of me defeating Penance anymore.
You got rid of it?
Yeah, I deleted it off YouTube. The only video I have is me 100%ing it, of the game, which is me going through the ending of the game after I've done everything after the fact. I meant to turn off the display capture, but I don't think it matters. But I think we come right here.
That's good.
100% achievement. What was the hardest achievement?
Final Fantasy X, right? That took a long.
Maxing all the sphere grids.
That took a long time.
Yeah, yes, that was by far the longest. You heard the things I talked about having to kill all these super bosses and kill 10 of every monster. Fraction of the time. It took me like weeks. It took me weeks of off stream just playing the game.
I'm not sure how much harder that's going to be, but I kind of want to try that also. But thank you, Fitz.
Oh, I have window capture on. I will never 100% Final Fantasy X again. I've done it. I've done it.
If you played again, are you going to go through the super bosses again? Or just
no, I'd probably go through the main story and purposefully try to do weird builds, like make Yuna my Auron, you know, like make Yuna the tank of the party, and then try to have like someone else be a white mage, even if it's unintuitive and makes the game harder, because that'd be kind of fun.
Cook some dinner, do some dinner.
I'd do it, yeah.
You know, the game has so much freedom and challenge runs potential because the sphere grid's so open. Kind of like Final Fantasy VIII is perfectly designed for challenge runs because of how much freedom it has. But again, it has to be self-imposed, and I'm not usually a huge fan of that. Carne Lowbreeze is cool. He's playing Final Fantasy. Shadow Ronin's been streaming this game since I was at work today.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
DLC?
Yeah. I don't know how long the DLC shouldn't be that long. We'll give Carne Lowbreeze a little bit of love. You know what? We'll give him love next time. We'll give Shadow Ronin love this time. Spider-Man sounds fun to watch. All right, homies. Thank you so much for stopping by. We beat Final Fantasy 9. We played Final Fantasy 8. We talked about Final Fantasy 10.
A lot.
And that's it. Peace out, homies. I'll be back at the latest Monday, at the earliest tomorrow. We don't know if I'll be back tomorrow, though. Thank you for stopping by, Rajisk. I want to play Dota 2 with you again soon, so we might even play tonight, so hit me up on Discord. Peace out.